Yeah.
Audio on now. Here we go. Let's see. Okay. Hello. Hi, everybody. We're now level 4, and the party. Oh, thanks for subscribing, honey. She's at work right
One
now,
level per
so
month.
she's
That's where
not
we're going.
working on her work, and is instead spending her time and money subscribing to me. But thank you. Yeah, there she says, washing from my office. Amazing.
Classic.
We're proud of you. Keep up the good work.
Oh, she's having her lunch. Okay. All right.
All right, you got
Having
path.
lunch at like 6 p.m. What's going on over there?
Look, some
well,
people aren't
dinner.
left to start at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Anyhow, so
like
let's
that.
do our.
Why is it coming through? Oh, okay, I see.
Oh god,
I
that
pulled
was
this
my
stream
voice.
up. Yeah, it was.
How's it feel,
Yeah,
Dragon Fade, to
I
hear
sound
your
like
own voice?
such a little child when I hear recording my voice.
Don't worry, Zaid. For what's worth, you sound like a little child to us too.
Thanks.
I'm kidding.
You all sound like little children to me.
Shab, you've been chosen to give recap this week.
Goody, oh goody. Alright, so if I recall, last week on Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Zaid, we were approaching the Patodermos, and we got inside to find it had been overrun with, I believe, it was Zamorakian cultists, we confirmed. Khan took one hostage and treated it like it wasn't a human. And the rest of the party bashed and smashed its way inside to find on the third floor, I believe, an empty casket to which we were explained was a lesser vampire kind of creature who came out of it to attack our party on the first floor, which tracked because there was that dude that was crawling on the roof. And this man informing us the name was Drezel, who was the priest of Patadermis, the man we were looking for, sent by King Rold out this way, in which we recommended he come back with us. It's not safe here. We don't know if more people are coming. We can't guarantee his safety, and that it's probably better off if he told his story in Varrock to the voices that might be concerned about it and give proper funding to properly defend that area. Obviously, it's not under attack for some reason. So we went back, got paid, gave them the slave, the Zamorakian pig, and then I think for the most part, we're kind of just collecting our gold, licking our wounds, and doing some shopping in Varrock.
The Zamorakian slave is now underneath the staircase at Varrock Palace.
Yeah, that's canon.
Yes, indeed.
Anytime you play RuneScape, it's from our campaign.
Yep, that's because we did it. Alright, cool. So, the party had been informed at their last visit to the palace that they should wait for a short while to see if they are needed again, because they may have further opportunities for the party. So we're going to have about 2 days of downtime here to do something. What are you guys going to do? Some things that you might do are any shopping. If you want to do some kind of odd job or something, we can figure something out for that. Potion brewing, I think, is what Danny was talking about wanting to do.
Potion seller, I'm going into battle. I need your strongest potions.
Zach was talking about doing some item crafting. What are you guys spending this time doing?
Derma would try to find a nearby animal group, any group that deals with animals. Does he find anything?
Like a farm?
Anything to do with animals? Yeah, maybe. Anything to do with animals within the Varrock region?
There are loads of farms that surround the city.
Anything like less farmy and more like, like zooey, or is it all farms pretty much?
There's some stray dogs about. I don't know that there's a zoo.
Derma would spend his entire 2 days taking care of and building homes for the stray dogs.
Okay. Cool. Make a animal handling check.
All right, let me get it.
I would imagine Daishu's been subtly bringing up that he's working on some kind of a blueprint. I know it's something he's been working on for a little while. Some kind of schematic for an item that he's working on artificing. It's come up casually in our conversations. I know he's been.
I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought you said Dermo, but you said Daishu.
Daishu, correct. Is that right, Daishu?
Yeah.
You want to tell me a little bit about it
yes,
now that we're kind of bringing it to light?
So, I think at some point he would show Khan, and probably have talked to Khan a little bit, to like, what makes your lance hard? Like, is there anything that would make it easier to use your lance? Is there any deficiencies you find in your shield? And
like getting
gear in
troubleshooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would he's seen me use it and defend myself and him with it, and like, I would let him, over time get a feel for the lance as he needed to get like specs and weights and stuff like that, so he could mock up whatever he needed to.
My lance just isn't getting as hard as it used to. Is there anything you can do for me?
Can make it out of rune for you.
Yeah, give me that little blue rune pill.
I mean,
is it bad that I also went there?
If you had enough money, you probably could do that.
Alright, I just got it loaded up, so let me do this roll that you asked me for. You said animal handling, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So, the stray dogs tend to be a bit frightened of you, so it takes quite a bit of convincing, quite a bit of time, sometimes over an hour, for an individual animal to allow you to feed it, probably being your first attempt or your first approach. But eventually you are able to win each of them over, and you spend a good amount of time giving them some much needed food and love and attention. And eventually by the end of the second day, some of them start to like recognize you, follow you around for a short time.
Hell
yeah. Let's see. Back to
so knowing that he's kind of right, over time I've given him my lance and my shield to kind of mess around with, get weights, and kind of write down details that he plans on modifying for whatever it is he's working on. I feel like he would be pretty familiar with my lance and my shield at this point while we're in Varrock. Like the months leading up to where we are now, he would have had ample opportunity to hold and joust and kind of get a feel for the motion and see how it's a part of my kit and how I use it as an extension of my arm, kind of thing, right? He would see a lot of those fundamental things. I'm sure he'd be writing them down. Is that fair, Daishu?
Mm-hmm.
At least taking a mental note, because I'm not literate.
Right.
Oh wait.
Hold my lance, stepbrother.
You understand science more than like literature.
Yeah. Instead of Daishu is not the type who just like draws an actual blueprint. He like mentally or pictures it in his head. Yeah, basically.
And Fane like reverse engineers it in his head. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna end up having some puzzle at some point where like the party is separated and like Daisho has to like just read something really simple, but he can't read.
Yeah,
like the dog is brown, and he's like,
be like there's like an engraved like brick on the other side of a door, and he's the only one over there, and it literally just says pull the brown lever. He's like, I don't know what it says.
He's like pulling every lever, getting shot with everything.
I wouldn't even know to pull a lever. I can't read this shit.
Oh, yeah. Even better, though, it could literally just be something that simple, and then one of us walks up, and it's like literally a toddler. And what's it called? Dragon's Day would literally just have to mumble whatever he actually is supposed to say to you, but then you could just tell you, like, oh yeah, it says brown.
But having like known that Daishu's got an idea at least, as we kind of walk through Varrock Market after getting paid from this job, I would have kind of like subtly brought up like, brother, what materials did you need for the lance glove thing you said? We should pick some up while we are in the city.
Yes. Zay, did you want any of that? Like, I basically put out like possibilities. I didn't write down any like factual like this thing requires this. You gave me.
Are you talking about like buying specific materials for specific things?
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted it to be made out of mithril at all, or if it was just, or if we're just gonna hand wave that entirely.
With any kind of like material gathering, at least for this kind of stuff, you can just be like, I buy 100 gold worth of artificing or item crafty materials, and then it's like, okay, fine.
All right,
you just use that. I don't.
We're gonna hand wave it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes it easy.
I don't need specifics. It's pointless.
And I will share with Con the kind of materials that I think I'm gonna need.
But yeah, the things that you would be looking for in character is like little bits of metal that you can make into custom parts, as
probably
well
rivets
as like
and nails, things.
Yeah, already formed thing. Yeah, like
Gotcha.
Like nails and
those are generally going to be more expensive.
Like
they'll save
gears,
us time.
Pipes, little things like that, components.
Yeah. They'll save us time in the longer, but it'll probably cost us a little bit more up front to get those semi-crafted base items to start working with.
In a purely hand-waving in-character perspective, yes.
Got you. Yeah, let's start.
How do you level up on the? How do you level up on Foundry?
Can we pin that in the Discord? Because that was news to me as well, and I'll forget.
Yeah, I'll put it in resources or something.
Yeah, it's super easy once you think about it, but it's not something I thought about.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna put a message in resources right now.
I also have arcane formula now. If you accept Tasha's optional features, so I can change my cantrips out every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
Oh damn! Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's what Wizards got with the Tasha's optional crap.
I actually haven't really looked at all of that optional stuff. I will have to let you know about those.
Okay. Well, I'm satisfied with the cantrips I have right now anyways, so that's not a big deal for me. If it's a...
Alright, I put a new message in resources. There's a picture that I made that
there we go. Okay.
shows how to do it. It's a little bit hidden.
Yeah, it's just a little hidden. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so are you level 2 barbarian now?
I am. Khan has decided to not further his paladin lifestyle until he has a god to follow. At 3rd level, he'll take an oath, and I feel like that's fitting. He'll swear an oath under a god. And this constant rage that's anguishing him is just growing more and more as he's becoming more confused in this world. So I feel that barbarian was still fitting. Also,
do I need to change anything besides the number? Do I need to change anything else?
Roll a hit die by using the short rest button so you can get your level up HP. And then I think the only other thing that you might get as a druid is another spell slot.
Is that automatic or what?
The spell slots, I think so. Let's see, 4th level druid, you get you gotta pick out an ability score improvement or a feat.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was a 5?
Yep, so your max HP goes up by 5 now.
Okay.
The other thing that you gained is you can now wild shape to creatures up to CR 1/2, and you can wild shape into creatures that have swimming speeds.
That means octopus, my guy. That's a good one.
I'm gonna probably. Well, yeah, there's octopuses in RuneScape. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Octopi, octopussies, whatever you want to call them.
Octodads.
I Octo want to die.
Oh wait, I did a short rest and I do a long rest to get my hit dice back, right? Till we're sleeping over the 2 days.
Oh, yeah, everybody can get their long rest, of course. Let's see. So, you guys did some shopping. That'd probably take not even like a significant portion. Go ahead.
Can I stop by the, wherever you'd call it, the person who's working on my sheep armor, and see if I can pay him to expedite the process? Just to have it done by the end of the weekend when we're leaving.
Let me see how much. I think I wrote down how much he paid for it. So you
and just
paid
in
him,
case we don't get back in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, you paid him 10 GP up front, and made the deal that you made with him was 10 GP up front and 10 when it was done. So he agrees to have it finished by that evening if you give him an extra 5.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, I'll go ahead and subtract 15 now. That way, by the end of the evening, I'll.
Cool. He graciously accepts your extra money and immediately stops what he's doing to go work on it.
Yeah. Good job. So, capitalism works.
Capitalism.
It's the third best ism.
Let's see. So, you guys spent some time purchasing some little parts and doodads, and then you can. I'm gonna say that's an insignificant portion of the day, probably. So you have about 2 days worth of downtime to actually start making something. So what are you gonna start on?
How much would it cost to make a doghouse?
Let's see. It's mostly just wood, right?
Yeah. I would probably go to the sawmill.
Honestly, probably only like a handful of gold at most. Maybe
so
like 3
5
gold.
Okay.
You buy like some wood, and then you could probably make like a kind of crummy but functional doghouse, unless you have like wood carver tools. Proficiency.
Yeah, I would find wherever the dog.
Like a treehouse in his back.
What?
Build a doghouse like a treehouse
on his back.
Yeah, on
the
his
thing
back,
is, my quills go out and down, so
That's
like
what
if you
I'm
curve your hand, it would probably have to be like really reinforced around my chest because it would slide off. I mean, I have a very wicking back. I mean, it's made to, to be sharp, but also to be, usable. It's a back,
It's a back.
It is indeed a back. You're right about that.
But
I can't argue with that point.
Yeah, I would like to find not secluded, but like wherever the dogs tend to go. Normally you'll see stray dogs in like an alleyway or something, off the beaten path, and I'd construct it in a way that isn't obscuring the entire pathway, but gives them a nicer place to lay that is free from the elements.
Okay, yeah, you wander about for a bit looking for a good spot, and you find a decent spot in the sort of south area of the city where it's a little bit more run down. There's more of these stray dogs. And you find a small, pretty much unfilled kind of courtyard, and you tuck it into a little corner there.
Okay.
Can you make me a flat D20 roll?
Sure. Roll 20. How do you press set?
Oh my god.
It's a nat 20.
You have never made anything out of wood in your life. But You managed to put together. Although actually, you would probably still need the tools, so you'd probably need to spend money on
I
the
will
tools.
pay whatever is
think of it.
necessary to get the items required for this job. I already subtracted the 3, so do you want me to just round it up to 5 or something like that, or?
It's so hard to find the web page that has the tools on it because there is a website called 5e Tools,
Okay.
which always comes up first. Let's see.
You have to look
wood
up
carving-
adventuring gear and equipment.
Yeah, wood carving
Probably.
tools cost 1 gold
Okay.
at the market.
Yeah, and then
they're easy to
obviously I'll
find.
spend another gold on like some padding or some form of like,
Some
something to make
cloth.
it comfortable.
Yeah, you can get some half decent cloth to put in there,
Yeah.
make it a little softer. Okay, yeah, so
Yeah,
that
okay, so I'll round it up.
maybe like 2 more silver for that. Okay, yeah,
But yeah,
you have
I'm
you
using
have
my
never
pure
made
unadulterated passion for animals to do this.
you have never made anything out of wood before, but you are so inspired by these stray dogs that you spend all day making this this doghouse, and it comes out pretty impressive. It looks good. The edges are nice and smooth. It's pretty comfortable looking in there. Good and shielded from the sun and the weather. It's fairly secure to the ground. It's not going to go anywhere, so it's looking good.
The job well done. I will return back to my my duties of fucking off.
So with those activities, Dermo's probably
I am done for
just
the
about
2
done
days.
with his downtime there. Zach, what are you working on first?
The gauntlets.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll be
Is that
working with him.
I don't need an anvil or anything for my chainmail as long as I have the links, so I can work that on that basically anywhere.
I guess that's true.
So the
let's
gauntlets
see,
are the priority.
The gauntlets. Probably you will need to spend a bit of time at a forge, which means you'll have to pay somebody to use their forge, probably.
Well, what I had proposed was like going up
forge.
to a. Well, we can't really afford that yet, but
What's that cost to make? Because that'd be a good early investment for the party overall, I think.
I think
Just to be able to have you working on stuff for all of us constantly on the road would be like a huge asset.
Oh, is a portable forge an item that you can? Is that a
Well, I
thing
don't-
that
You
exists?
can make one. I think it's a Pathfinder.
you're talking about an anvil or an actual forge.
like a forge.
I am not going to be your pack mule. I'm not carrying around a fucking anvil.
You're
He's got a
already our
bag of
pack-
holding.
You're already our pack mule.
Um,
You
I
just
mean,
don't
we
know it
can-
yet, Treeborn.
you can make a
Yeah,
forge
yeah.
just about anywhere. You can make one out in the wilderness. It's not that hard,
Just like rocks and stuff, and then light a fire in it.
basically. I mean, you'd have to do some special stuff to get the fire hot enough to actually melt metal, but you can do that in the wilderness with just about like
You just
whatever
you
you
just
can
gotta
it's
use
not,
the knife or two, and then it gets really hot.
more or less, yeah. The hard part would be having something to hammer the metal on, which is why we need an anvil. If anything, we should get a portable anvil, but that's still at least 50 gold.
Well, if you need any money, Dermo absolutely. If you like had mentioned an idea for a project or a project for the party, he would absolutely put money towards it.
Mhm.
Zephylos also has
no,
a.
he had no care for it.
I was gonna say Zephylos also has a suggestion for that 350 that we got
Mhm.
that might help the party. A component for a spell he has. The spell is Identify, and it lets him just look at magic items and see what they are. But also, if someone's under the effect of a magic spell, he can also determine that too. But it requires a pearl worth 100 gold pieces.
So the thing that I will always point out here is that you can actually just identify magic items for almost as well as the identify spell just by doing a short rest. That's just like a thing.
So that's like
Yeah,
what, an
but you
hour
have to do
of
a short rest and then short rest to attune to the item. So it is a suggestion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just wanted to.
So
make
wait,
you
is
guys
that
aware of
100? Is that 100 gold for an infinite? like 1 pearl that you get to keep forever, or is that like 100 gold per?
It's 1 pearl you keep forever. It's not consumed by the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, absolutely. If we're going in on that, I'm always down for.
It definitely can
having
still be a worthwhile investment.
Because an
It's just,
hour per
some
identify.
people don't. Yeah, some people just don't even know that you can identify a magic item by spending an hour with it,
Vibing
and they're
with
like,
it.
"Whoa, this spell's awesome! It's amazing!" And it's like, well, it's
Yeah, an hour per
it's
item though can
good.
add up really quickly, especially if it's like in a timed area, like
Yeah, if
like
you're
a green
if
area.
you're in a time sensitive situation, that's where the identify spell helps a lot.
Is that,
And it
what- is
also
that
works
what
on
trigger is
people.
that?
Yes, yeah, and you can
Is
use
that
it on,
like a
I
cantrip
think.
or is that a?
It's a ritual spell.
Second level spell?
No, it's first level ritual.
Oh, first level.
So I don't
hour,
have to
so you're saving
spend.
50 minutes.
Yeah, so I don't have to spend, an hour doing it. I can do it in 50 minutes and not kill a spell slot. So it might as well be a cantrip that
Okay.
costs 10 minutes.
I can put down 25 for that easily. So yeah, if you asked Dermo for it, if you told him about the plan, he would have no issue putting forward 25 for that goal. I just imagine he's just walking down the street like with the idea of this, and he just sees Dermo in an alleyway hammering away at some wood,
In a random alley.
and there's just dogs watching him chewing on like good berries and shit.
Please don't phrase it like that. Yeah, we haven't put the 350, but if we do, I'd put my portion towards this goal.
Just go ahead and I'm gonna transfer 25 to you for that goal. So I mean,
Oh
if-
yeah,
if
that
nothing
reminds
else,
me. Did you guys sort out the 350?
I don't have it. I kept my chunk from the first pay job. That's the only money I kept from what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
Somebody
I don't even
had
think I added the money from the
Who
first
has
job.
the money?
somebody
Who
had
has the
done
money?
somebody did the math on the 350. I think
It was like
divided it 4
87.
ways. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I already added that to my sheet last session.
87 and a half gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, so figure that out now so that we don't have to figure it out.
87.
Yeah,
and a half.
everyone gets 87 gold and 5 silver pieces.
Say less. So I'm now at 24 silver. And
The most important part of that. Hey, Zephylos, add 25 to yourself, and I'm gonna subtract 25.
it's
for
sorry,
the purposes-
87.
Yeah.
87 plus 25. for
87
you
gold,
specifically.
5 silver.
38 that I already have. So I'm at exactly 150. Pog.
Pog.
Is
So,
that
yeah.
with the 25 or without?
That's with. So can
Okay.
I blow 100 to get the gem, GM?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll just go to 50.
Is it a gem or was it a pearl? I thought it was a pearl.
It's a pearl.
Oh, okay.
Like a pearl would be a gem, you know? It's
Oh,
luminous.
it's technically not.
Kind of. I mean, it's not. It's very
You know,
much
it's
not a
gem-
gem,
It's
but
gem-like.
it serves a similar function.
It's a
It is
shiny
of
rock.
the gem
Yeah,
formation.
it's a cool, hard, small object.
That's what I got called in high school. Cool, small, and hard.
And an object.
And an object, yeah. That was mostly just the women.
For my first day of downtime, I'd like to 5 gold to make a healing potion, please.
Cool. 25 gold you spend at the market. You get your herbs and your stuff. And you spend is it 8 hours? The 8 hours brewing up a potion. You get 1 potion of healing.
It's 25 gold in an hour, you said?
25 gold and 8 hours.
8 hours.
To brew it up.
You know, that's
to
only
make it
something that
yourself.
like a medieval person could do, because like modern day, someone doing that would get so fucking bored that they just load up Reddit and accidentally fuck it up.
Yeah, he's got a fucking point. Usually he
I
doesn't.
mean,
He's got a fucking
if your
point.
life depends on it.
The man's speaking fire right now, and we should listen to him. He's fucking right. We'd be on fucking TikTok and it'd ruin. Too many witches would ruin the cult. The potion is what would happen.
Yeah.
Cool. Zephylos has another day to do stuff. Actually, wait. It only takes 8 hours, and there's 24 hours in a day.
Well, 16 that you're awake for.
And you have 16 hours per day to do nothing, and 8 to sleep.
Well, I mean, like, 8 of those working hours, like, so it's 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of working, and then the rest is just, like, not working. Because have you ever tried to do an extended shift? You can do it. It just sucks, you know.
Yeah, it does suck.
I do it
Anyhow,
every single day.
If you want to do something else, you can. Otherwise, moving on.
I have no more money, so I'll pass. I do have more
Cool.
money, but I don't want to spend on a healing potion.
I certainly have more money, but I would just be buying stuff with Daishu to.
Yeah, I think we
further
got
this
sidetracked very far away from what.
It happens. We're in the
Tech
city
was
for the
doing
first time
yet
in
again.
like forever, spending gold for the first time, literally. So I get that it's gonna take time.
So it's 100 gold for the base gauntlets without any upgrades, right? I think that's what you said in chat. Yeah.
And those act pretty much just like my horns, but on my fists, essentially same d6 damage. We said it wouldn't even be an upgrade; it would just be a different thing I could do.
Did I say?
Isn't that how you were saying it?
I feel like it wasn't even that much. I'm trying to double check what I said.
Yeah, you really
You
were
said
like the gauntlets
200
don't even look like an upgrade. I think you said 100
base.
Was it? Cool.
And then, but since I'm crafting it, it goes down to 100 and 4 weeks of.
You know
work.
that kind of sounds like a bar, right? The horned fist sounds like a bar.
I can't even find where in the chat I said how much it would cost.
What?
Was it in the chat or was it in our PMs? Oh. This one? Aha! That would be... Oh yeah, so that was if you want to still keep the bonus action shield thing, yeah, it's gonna be 200 for the ensemble.
Yeah,
as the value.
Yeah,
so
as the base value, which gets halved since we're crafting it instead of buying it.
Crafting cost is 100.
Mm-hmm.
And it is 1 work week per 50 GP of the value of the item.
So 4 weeks,
which is 4 weeks of work.
Mm-hmm.
So
a week is assumed to be 8, or a work day.
Is 8
a
hours.
work week is assumed to be 5 days, 8 hours a day.
So 20 hours. Of work.
I love you.
So,
yeah, I'm bad at math.
oh
sorry.
my goodness, somebody did a
Great
noise.
math right there.
Oh, I love you, honey.
Con's wisdom and intelligence is really low. Let's chalk it up as that, not me doing mad math because I'm
Oh,
focused.
okay.
There's
yeah,
in-character math.
You know what though? He grade,
Let's see.
so yeah.
So
Things good.
4 work weeks, if I'm calculating this right, is gonna be 160 hours. That seems like a lot.
Basic
It
math.
makes sense for what it
It's
is.
4 times 4. Wait, aren't you just learning how to screw metal onto like metal?
Okay, so
No, have you seen Arcane?
Have I seen your game?
Arcane, the show.
No, I don't watch TV.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you know me anytime soon, but I pretty much work and then I go home to hang out with my daughter. There is 2 parts of my life, and none of it is shows.
They're
Goals.
the gauntlets are part tech and part magic.
I can Google it. If I Google like arcane TV show gauntlets, will I find it?
Probably.
We'll see. This looks like a what's it called? Oh, okay, I see this. They are big as fuck. What the hell?
Yes, indeed.
That's like the size of her goddamn like body.
And she uses
Also,
two
why
of them.
does this look like some real World of Warcraft cast stuff?
I mean, it's League of Legends.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Those are huge, though. Shit.
Yeah, so they're like...
She's way too small to be able to hold that up with her basic, like... Her arms are, like, tiny.
So yeah, it's... I mean, they something like that takes a while to make.
I'm making an item in your character sheet where you can track how much you've worked on it. It's toward the bottom in the loot section called Gauntlets in Progress. So you can
Like masterwork.
you can write down how much time you've put in there. So you can, in these 2 days, you can put in actually, is there a restriction on how much you can put into work on something in a day? I'm gonna say there's not. You can put in as many as 32 hours of work on this in these 2 days. Although if you work that hard, you might find yourself being rather tired.
Yeah.
8 hours would be a more reasonable expectation.
Yeah, I might do like 10 hours a day.
Okay, that's doable. Yeah, so go ahead and I was gonna write a number for
yeah. What's the hours
forge?
required of the forge?
I don't know.
Maybe like 25%.
That's what I was gonna do. So we'll say 40 hours required at the forge. Oh, and let me add hours of work completed at a forge. Alright, so you can start filling that out as we get chances to work on it. And you can do the work at a forge or not in any order that you want, I don't care.
Okay.
So it was 100 gold for the materials.
100 gold.
All right, I threw 50 into that then.
Alrighty, I will do the other 50.
Cool.
I would also spend my
and-
time working with you, so it would cut the time down.
I guess a fun little benefit that I guess I'm just gonna throw onto there for free because you're an artificer, is that it'll count as a magical weapon.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Magical bludgeoning, baby. Let's go.
Because I don't see why not.
All right. So if Khan's helping, how does that add any time to?
Yes. Up to a reasonable number of people can help you when you're crafting an item. This goes for any item crafting, including the potions or whatever. Probably with this item, you could have as many as like the whole party helping you on it if they wanted to.
I certainly would be helping him.
So yeah,
Rosebud
each person will increase the amount that the amount of effective time worked by 100%.
Cool.
Okay.
So we can get
So
that
that
up
would-
in 2 weeks then.
So that would go up to.
That would actually be all the forge time knocked out in these 2 days between the two of us.
Yes, it would actually. That's convenient.
A huge, yeah, that's a good jump start for sure.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and I see
Cool.
this as an opportunity to jumpstart. Kind of, this is the Rosebud to his artificer level whenever he decides to take it, because Con will certainly be taking. Like I said, he kind of becomes whoever he's closest to in the party in a lot of ways. Like my characters get grown on and grow on the party. So
Yeah. So
dating artificer at some point.
in these 2 days. Also you're gonna have to probably pay to use someone's forge, which will.
Well, that's when I was trying to say earlier.
Oh,
I
go
had
ahead.
proposed because it was, at least in the real world, it was relatively common for young smiths when they like finished their basically internship. I can't remember the actual word for it now. Apprenticeship. They would advance to journeyman, which is literally they go around to different towns and learn from different smith masters. So it was pretty common for people from neighboring villages to show up and be like, "Hey, I'm learning to be a smith. Can I use your forge?" Granted, I'm not a local, so I figured that might take a little bit of convincing to try and let somebody do let me do that, but I figured in exchange, I would offer to work a bit for their forge, or work a bit on whatever they need help
Yeah.
with as well.
So I would say it'd be pretty easy to convince someone to let you work there if you just do a little bit of work for them. So like either you can pay them like I don't know, 2 silver or something per day to use their forge. So it could be pretty measly. Or you can do like an hour of work for them to use it for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so I'll basically work 11-hour days those both days. I'll tack on an additional hour to work on whatever they need.
You spend that hour doing some of the preparatory work for the forging of some small blades.
Okay. All right, well, I think that's everything for me.
Cool.
All right, my lovelies. I have to hop off, but that should be everything that Dermot's going to do, and otherwise he's going to hang out with Zephylos and take care of Bob.
Right, so.
Alrighty. We'll see you later.
All right, I'll see if I can pop in at time to time just to listen in. But you guys have an awesome one, all right?
Yeah, you got the
Have a
VOD.
good evening.
Listen to the VOD this
cool.
week and you're caught up.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy.
Isn't that
Yeah,
great?
yeah. I'll probably just end up loading up the stream and watching the VOD over.
Cool. Okay.
All right, bye.
See you later.
Yeah, I guess. What was the gold amount before? Sorry, it was 87?
87 gold and 5 silver.
So
Everyone
5,
received.
and then I spent 50, so let's add 37. Got it. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to assume that that's everybody did in their 2 days.
Yeah.
And we can move on.
I ate pretty good too. I'd like to note that I tried the cuisine out of this city. Was there anything notable in the 2 days of eating my way through Varrock, essentially? Anything that really was unique to a Garaho?
Oh, I don't know. The food is probably going to be similar to the stuff that you would have had in other places in the kingdom. A lot of beef and pork and chicken as your meat on with a nicer meal would have some of that. Paired with either like a bread or like some vegetables cooked in a rather simple way, like steamed with salt. Be a pretty typical meal.
All right, noted. Interesting cuisine. But yeah, I'd be eating and drinking merrily as Zephylos encouraged me in Lumbridge to try the finer things in life. I would be doing that now that I had a little money.
Cool. And then everybody can also subtract 5 silver for each of the 2 days for staying at the inn that you guys are at. I'm going to do that for Dermo here. So that's 1 gold. So, we're going to fast forward now to the morning after that second day of downtime. The 4 of you are enjoying your morning meal, at which point a man walks into the inn there, looks around for only a short while before noticing the group of 4 weird people, including one regular-looking guy with weird red armor, maybe, and kind of gives this face where it's like, yeah, that's probably them, and then walks over to you guys. He hands you a letter and says, this is a letter for you. Yep, it's from the palace. There you go.
The one regular person will take it, please.
He's probably you are probably the one that he approached most closely to hand off the letter.
And no red armor. I'm not mage armored up.
Yeah. I just thought of that immediately after I completed that sentence. He quickly scurries off.
Nice. All right. So, I will open the letter and see what's up.
You read the letter, and it is a relatively short invitation by a captain of the Varrock Guard by the name of Rovin, inviting you to the palace to speak about a possible further venture for you. It leaves few specific details about what it might be or what the compensation might be.
Clearly, it's spam mail, so I throw it out.
Put this in my
of course,
spam
the
folder.
government of Varrock wants me to, come over and get a job, but they just want my SIN number first.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I'll let.
Yeah, it says the Prince of Yanil has been deposed and needs my help.
I
Yeah,
just need to
I'll
send him a check of 45 gold, and he said he'll pay me 900 when he gets out.
He said he'd double my cash.
He's the Duke. He's
Said
Duke.
he'd trim my armor.
Duke of Lumbridge is asking for help.
He'd trim my steel chain body.
Yeah. Something stupid.
All right. So yeah, I'll let the others know. I'll say we're being summoned to speak with a representative of the guard at the castle. They might have further work for us.
Alright.
I don't know about you two, but the last couple of days have been a little bit expensive for me. I am not opposed.
Meant a few words over here.
We do need more of this GP.
We are. Yeah, hold on. I'm taking notes. Or I wouldn't be.
It makes the world go round, you know?
All right. So what does the note say, my brother? I'll ask, as you're reading it.
It says that we are invited to the castle to speak with a representative of the guard to possibly have more employment.
They need to send an invite for this. We were just there.
A few days ago.
I guess so. What else does it say? Just that the job is open?
Yeah, they want to discuss terms and possible future ventures.
Well, when it comes to negotiating the price, I have been pretty effective, brother. I should come along.
Right, just don't go crazy. We don't want to make a bad impression with someone who's been paying us over, what is it now? 500 gold? 550 gold.
You'll see kind of a unconvincing smirk on Khan's face as he says, "Of course, I would never want to ruffle anyone's feathers."
Right. Well, very well, let's not be rude and let's accept the invitation and go to the castle.
I wanted to do this before, but I forgot. So I did want to do like a quick little like out of character sort of vibe check here with what's going on. And I probably should have included this in our like early like pre-campaign stuff, or I might have, but I don't remember doing it. So the campaign here is going to this one specifically is probably going to involve at least a little bit of a sort of sense of heroism or greater good from the party as a whole, not necessarily all of the characters, because I think you guys know kind of where this next sort of scene is going. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody's kind of on the same page here. Probably your characters are going to, in order to progress the campaign, do something that is rather dangerous. and gold is a good motivator, but it may not always kind of feel like enough in certain like RP situations. I just kind of wanted to see where your characters are at with like
Oh yeah.
how
Khan
much
would
danger are they willing to put themselves in?
I mean, Khan's verbalized that in the past already, so let's see how it turns out. We just weren't getting paid enough for the shit we were doing. Khan's already
Right.
on that. Khan's already on that wall. That's why he's always arguing about payment.
Yeah. And how did he feel relative to like what they got this this past
I
adventure?
think he was happier knowing that the party was happier, the tribe was happier, getting more money for the job for having done more than they were asked to do. The first one, he definitely was not happy. He was angry.
Okay.
Khan doesn't want to feel like he's being used to further some kind of political agenda or something, like a pawn. He doesn't want to feel like that.
Sure.
So as long as he's getting paid enough to not feel like that, then he's gonna shut up. You know what I mean?
What about the other two of you?
I think Daisho's kind of not as far as Khan, is also definitely motivated more by money than doing good for goodness sake. I mean, top priority is protecting the tribe. So if we're in a situation that, you know, is too dangerous, that is really threatening the tribe, he's probably going to rethink some things. But being thrown into this also situation where he can't just work and craft things and then get food in return is very alienating. So he's like, well, money is a necessity now. I guess that's kind of important. So he's probably more willing than the average. I mean, clearly more willing than the average commoner to put himself in danger to get money. But then, despite that, I think he's also kind of like maybe slightly more prone to this is the right thing to do as well. Like that's certainly in there. Just it's a smaller voice. Maybe it might have to grow louder in order for as the campaign continues. We'll see.
Okay.
I'd say a running theme, not only with Zephylos as a character, but it's also integrated into his build quite nicely, is sacrifice. He's extremely ambitious, you know, the self-consuming snake. So he is willing to throw a lot away, be it himself or anyone or anything at his disposal, to get to those goals at the end of the tunnel.
And what are those? Actually, you don't have to share what are those, but if you don't want to.
Well, no. I can be vague about it and still leave some room for it to be interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, his backstory is essentially has seen visions of a past empire that's greater than anything human society has ever achieved since. And he understands that the person who made all that isn't dead like other people think. So he's trying to get into that thing, good races. So he's essentially just trying to punish those who usurped him to begin with, so Zamorakians.
Okay. Yeah.
And, and make progress in that direction. So that's why I think he'd be extremely compelled to deal with vampires just for as Zaros' avenger, essentially.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things that I'm counting on here. I have played with a decent amount of parties that are like, yeah, let's go beat these guys up because they're evil, and that's like their main motivation. That's nice. I have been kind of detecting not none of that, but like a little bit less of that from that party. From this party, which is fine. But I just wanted to make sure that like we're not gonna just like
The excitement doesn't die out because
yeah,
there's not
I'm
enough.
that I'm not that like I'm not leaning too hard into the party's like greater good sense
I would
solely.
say that
One of the things that I'm probably counting on actually here is indeed most of the party's hatred of
for
Zamorak
yeah,
and his
that's what's
followers.
going to help you the most, I think. I don't want to
That-
be a murder hobo, but Zamorak is a good.
Yeah.
I think Khan and Daishu, that's just a easy focus. Say Zamorak, and we don't care if we're getting paid or not. We just want to kill
Yeah.
Zamorak.
Okay, so I will keep that in mind for sort of motive, like continuing to.
Like you saw how much I sold the slave Zamorak cultists for nothing, pennies.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I want to see the
Okay.
people loyal to Zamorak suffer.
Cool.
I want to cause
will
Zamorak
keep
pain
that.
like he has me.
Yeah, I will keep that in mind as one of our, perhaps our most important motivator here.
I like that. Have you guys seen The Boys?
No.
No. Jab, help me out. Have you seen
I
The Boys?
have not, and I've been told to watch it by several people. There is a backlog of anime I am trying to catch up on before I start any live action, unfortunately. So Boys is
I'm not going to spoil anything, but essentially the concept is like all the superheroes in the setting really pissed off these like regular Joes, so they've dedicated their lives to like they're not the good guys. They're not trying to be good. They're just trying to screw over these superheroes, and are unintentionally good in the process, right? Because again, all these superheroes are actually assholes. So I think we're kind of like The Boys, where it's like, sure, we're doing the greater good by helping the people who are slighted by vampires, but our main motives and intentions are not necessarily to be good, but to spite Zamra.
Yes.
So we're going to be good in the end run, but like that's not our tunnel vision.
Khan doesn't want to be good. He just doesn't want to live in a world where there's that kind of. The city is doomed. So he'll be like an anti-hero if he has to, walking a chaotic good line if he needs to.
And not saying that, like, I can only really speak on behalf of my character, but not saying my character is evil. He's more like lawful neutral, where it's like, you know, he's not really in it for the moral imperative. He's doing this very logically. Like he'll do good if good is required, right? He's not opposed to being a decent being, right? But yeah, he has a bone to.
See, Khan will always do good, but his perspective of good is it has to benefit the tribe. If it doesn't benefit the tribe, it's not a good thing for the tribe. So Khan wouldn't want to inherently just do it.
No.
Like helping a stranger. Like he's not going to go help a stranger because he's a stranger. Like if he was part of the tribe, that'd be a problem, and he'd want to be a good person and help the tribe. But outside of the tribe, he doesn't care about being good. But money's the main focus right now, so if it's paying well to be good, quote unquote, then Khan doesn't have an issue being good.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. I just wanted to check in on that.
Yeah, the tribe's more important than any moral compass this world might have.
Okay. Cool. So unless anybody has any more to share, let's continue over to the palace. And let's see. You arrive at the gates of the palace. Show them the letter, like you have a couple of times already, and they let you on in. And this time, actually, they bring you not just to the grounds, but into the main gates of the palace, and a short distance into the actual interior.
Do I see
inside
the
of the
anywhere?
Sorry,
walking in the Zamorakian slave. He's gone. Like he went downstairs, like we said, or is he up there still?
You don't happen to notice him
days.
on the way. He'd probably be like down in some dungeon.
I would have been looking for him on my way in for sure. I would have been keeping my eyes peeled to see.
The inside of the palace is decorated with old paintings of people of Varrock's history, you presume. Suits of armor with the decorative shields with the Varrock crest, and the like. It's rather fancy inside, probably unlike anything you guys have seen on Gilnor so far, except maybe what Zephylos remembers of the Wizard's Tower would have been perhaps a similar level of grandiose. So you are led down a hallway or two and into a room where someone is waiting for you in a small sort of office kind of space. It is occupied with mostly just a little table with only like 2 chairs, so you guys won't even all be able to sit down.
I'll
a
drop
large
my
desk.
bag to the ground as we come in.
A large desk with a couple of parchments strewn about it. A very small bookcase with only a handful of books in it. And it is decorated with various sort of military-esque items like ceremonial, a ceremonial sword hung on hooks, a nice fancy sort of helmet in a similar style to the Varrock guards, but a little bit nicer, those kinds of things.
Mhm.
And sitting at the other side of the desk is a middle-aged man with a sort of salt and pepper sort of short beard, dressed in some somewhat nice clothes, and he is sitting there waiting as you guys arrive.
Yeah, as we walk in, I'm gonna drop my bags to the floor, like in the entrance of where we're coming in. All that gear that we're trekking. Now, probably some of it's in the inn. I get that, but like whatever's not, I'll drop it here and like
Sure.
get into kind of a not so combat. I'd wear my basic kit through the city for the most part, but I would like drop my shield and my lance against the wall as I came in. And I would eyeball the ceremonial weapons hanging from the hooks on the walls, like you said. I would check those out. Do they look just ornamental, or do they have functionality too?
The one that you are looking at is a short sword. It looks probably like it hasn't left this spot since it was put there. Probably it's just used for decoration.
Is it dusty, or is it upkept?
Oh no, it has been kept clean.
Good.
It looks like it's been cared for.
I'll roam over to the table, kind of keeping an eye on Deishu, stopping when he stops and keeping pace with him so that we can get to the table at the same time. But I'll walk up to the table and sit down, essentially. Is he sitting down? He's sitting down?
Yes, he's sitting.
Okay, I'll sit down then.
As you guys sort of finish meandering about, observing the this little space, he will begin to speak and introduce himself. Hello there. I suppose you are the group that I have summoned here. I would say have a seat, but I don't think we actually have enough space. I'm sorry. Anyhow, my name is Captain Roven of the Varrock Guard. And well, it looks like we might have some more work for you guys. I heard quite a bit about your previous sort of escapades in Draenor, as well as over at Potterdomus. And we were pretty impressed by sort of your skills that you had displayed. It's not often that we come by a group of people that have acted in such brave ways in a rather dangerous set of situations. So
Connell let out
your
a
work has
light
not
chuckle.
gone unnoticed.
Connell let out a light chuckle as he's saying that.
The man continues. Anyhow, we wanted to discuss with you if you're willing to do a bit more work, perhaps something a bit longer term this time. It will, however, be a bit more open-ended. You see, we interrogated that cultist that you brought in.
Is he dead? I'll cut him off.
He's locked up in the dungeon.
And what is to become of this pig?
Well, he will be kept there for a little while. He may or may not be executed. It has not been determined yet.
I will buy him.
We have
back
only
from
just
you
finished
if you don't
interrogating him. Sorry, go ahead.
kill him. I'll buy him back from you twice the price if you do not kill him.
I don't think that we can really do that. I'm sorry.
You can buy him, but you cannot sell him. He's gonna say furiously.
We didn't really buy him. We gave you a reward for the work that you did in total.
Is this not buying a service or a good? There was an exchange of money, specifically for the slave. There was a transaction, no?
It really wasn't particularly for the criminal.
Yes, the money wasn't for purchasing the rights to him. It was for our service to the kingdom.
And what of the 4 copper? And I'll slam them because I have them in my pockets. They're in a different pocket, the 4 copper from the Zamorakian slave. I'm going to say, and what are these? I was given these when I gave the slave away. Specifically, these 4 copper, and I'll press on them.
Well, okay, so I, out of character, am confused.
Yeah, that's fine.
Rovan is also confused.
Totally fine.
He's like, what are these? What are you talking about?
When I sold the slave, he gave me these 4 copper as a transaction.
Who did?
I don't fucking remember. Was it Derek the clerk that we were talking to last time?
Yeah.
I don't remember an exchange of 4 copper.
Yeah, I don't remember like 4 copper for him. I think that was the 4 copper.
What was that
okay.
for?
Add some context then.
He Khan offered to sell the cultist to Dirk the clerk for 4 copper, which was paid.
And Dirk paid the 4 copper in transit. It was a proper transaction.
He literally would have just like pulled it out of his pocket.
Khan put it in a separate. He has literally a pouch for his cultist slaves that he's selling. He's gonna start doing that.
Like any rational person, we all have our extra pouch for our slavery.
Right.
I mean, they're Zamorakian cultists. They're hardly people.
Our human trafficking money pouch.
Yeah.
They're not human. That's the problem. You guys are. As soon as you begin to worship this foul thing, you lose all humanity. You stop being you're like a Nazi. That's literally all you're just not. You're not a human anymore. You're just a monster.
Anyhow, Rovan is thoroughly confused. He's like, "Look, the man is in the custody of the palace, and he's gonna stay there. I'm sorry, I can't help you."
I'm gonna slam my hand.
He's been determined to be a criminal of Misthalin. He's under our imprisonment. That's all.
And you'll hear Khan mumble something under his breath. I'm not sure if the guy would hear it, but he'd say, "I'll kill him myself."
He is still kind of confused and considers if that is like an actual threat to invade the palace, sneak into the prison, and kill somebody for a moment. But then
I'll wave him off to continue.
He just kind of like shakes his head in a way to indicate that he wasn't really taking you seriously there. He then goes on to continue. Anyhow, I was saying, we interrogated the prisoner. It seems he didn't know too much information, was probably just some sort of lackey that wasn't even given all the details by his superiors. It turned out that they were supposed to meet this vampire near the temple there, keep him there for a little while, and then that was pretty much all that he knew, and he got compensated for it in some way or another. I don't know that it was even with gold, because I believe it was mentioned that they didn't have much coin on them.
Yeah, they didn't.
But anyhow, we also discussed this matter with what was that man's name? Drezel?
Yeah.
Drezel. We discussed the matter with him about the vampire's presence at the temple, and that seemed to be very concerning to him, and it took a bit of explanation as to why, but it seems that... Oh my god, not the flute noises again. Oh god.
Titanic Flu redeemed that.
Who do you think?
Mrs. DM.
Anyhow.
Classic.
Well, you
And
see,
we're
Drezel
causing
explained the
chaos.
significance of the vampire being there, potentially implying that there could be an issue with the blessing on the river that is protecting our kingdom against Mauritania. This could be a very, very important threat to our kingdom. And what we would like to do is have someone head into there and see kind of what is going on. We don't have much contact with anyone on the other side of the river because of the high level of danger that land is supposed to possess. And so we really don't even know what is going on the other side of the salve. That's where we were hoping you could come in. We need someone to investigate what is happening over there. What is the status of their land's rulers?
And how much
and
does this pay?
If it's possible, how could this vampire have crossed the river?
And how much does this pay?
That will depend in part on what information you can get to us. We are willing to give you some pretty fair compensation up front, as well as additional compensation depending on how much you can provide to us in
This
information
seems like
or other
an
feats.
open-ended request. You want us to go somewhere and get information. Do you
Indeed.
know what amount you are willing to pay for an unknown amount of information?
A good question.
Indeed. I seem to have a lot of them for people who do not know how to answer them.
Well, that is a good question indeed. We are prepared to set aside a substantial amount of gold for this. I mean, again, it will depend on what you can gather, though. So
I think
we
what
will
would
have to come to some sort of mutual agreement here,
Which
is what
we
I
are
hope to
willing
get
to
out of this
do.
meeting.
I think what will satisfy us is you said that there was an advance that could be made simply for us going into this fabled land of danger, right? How much are you willing to put in advance?
Hold on, my brother, and I'll kind of wave off. I'm like, I understand we want to make money, but I also do not want to get killed under the name of some flag I do not know fully. What are you asking for us to do there before we agree to any amount of payment?
He's already answered the question. He wants us to
He wants
go
us
into
to
this
investigate
land.
the river salve, yes. Does he have any more information than that, or are we going in practically blind like we have done before?
Well, he's a captain of the guard. He's not a theologian or wizard.
Is he coming with us? Are you coming with us, sir? And I'll look at him.
I am afraid not. I have a strict responsibility to keeping the city safe. I'm the captain.
And to
of the guard.
keeping us uninformed on our current task. I see.
That is not my prerogative, sir.
It's just a byproduct of your job. I understand.
If they knew the answers, they wouldn't be paying us to do it, now would they?
So the answers they seek are in high demand, so they should be highly paid for, and I'll look at him.
Indeed.
So what is this upfront, now that we've come back to what my brother was mentioning, what is this upfront amount?
Yeah. Yes, let us discuss.
Because we all understand you're asking us to do something you don't even know how to do.
We are prepared to offer you something that might, we hope might be tempting. I have here he shuffles through some papers in his desk, opens a drawer, pulls something out, checks on it, sets it down in front of you guys. I have here a voucher that you can exchange.
I'm gonna scoff right away.
That you can exchange at one of our talented smiths here in the city for a very powerful and valuable weapon of your choice.
So he's giving us an NFT.
No, he's
It's
giving us
non-fungible.
He's giving us a coupon for something that we don't have.
I can't believe RuneScape taught me what checks were just because of all the noted
items. Yeah, no, I get
He's giving you
that's what he's talking
a
about.
noted
like,
longsword.
Khan just dealt with the whole Draenor village thing where he nearly died and then got given a piece of paper that said, "We're good for it, trust us," essentially.
I mean, that's how it works.
I understand that, but it's still so strange to Khan that he's willing to die for essentially a piece of paper.
Piece of paper.
A
Yes.
piece of paper that's not.
That's
It's
true.
literally only worth what the person who wrote on it says it's worth.
Is that
True.
not just money in society?
It's
That's-
literally yeah, but
that's
that's the
literally-
whole. It's a whole new concept to kind of to understand that.
Yeah,
But
we've
like
only...
even coins are the same, right? They're
Yeah.
only worth it because the kingdom or whatever the world says that it's worth something.
Yeah, this shiny rock is worth more than that shiny rock.
Right.
Apparently.
It's not that much different, really.
It's still going to make Khan scoff
It's
when
just-
he sees the piece of paper come out. He knows exactly what that means.
Anyway, he goes on to explain that you can exchange this voucher at a smith in the city for a rather valuable weapon. Specifically, getting into more out-of-character details. You can exchange it for any rune or U weapon, which are our reflavored +1 weapons that other than one that is two-handed. To anything that can be held in one hand or is versatile.
Does that include shields? Is there like a rune square shield or tower shield?
I think +1 shields are like an extra rarity higher than.
No, I
the
believe they're still
weapon.
uncommon.
They're uncommon.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Then it works for shields.
It's
too.
the +1 armors that start.
Yeah, it's the
rare.
armor. Yeah.
Those go to
Or
rare.
yeah, it includes a shield as well. For context, buying one of those items would cost you about, what was it?
Well, we have the prices here. It's like 300 gold or something. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's worth like 350 plus gold.
I'm gonna ask him what it's worth in gold.
Well, something like this, if you were to just buy it outright, would cost probably about 350 or 400 gold pieces.
So you give us a piece of paper that we might make use of instead of gold that we definitely can make use of. Why don't you give us 350 gold up front plus this coupon that we might use? I don't know if this is useful for us. I'm like gonna like point at it and look at the party and be like, I don't know if this paper is good for. I don't know if it's a weapon that I can use or a party can use. But I know we can make use of gold, I'll say.
Let's not be absurd. This
I'm not
coupon-
being absurd, brother. I'm like, I have nearly died for this flag twice, and they still don't know why. They want us to further investigate the things that are killing us. I'm just asking that maybe we ramp up. The dangers have ramped up. Why not the pay?
Well, because the reason why I think you're being absurd is because this voucher here is worth more than the job we just did. So, they're
And it's-
paying us more right now for us risking our lives previously for something that might not nearly be as dangerous. They're going to pay us more after the fact when we've actually done it. So that's why I
Yes.
think you're being absurd.
Assuming we have finished the job and not died in the process, brother.
That's any job we...
Yes,
Can't always
so
hold that up.
I would like to know that the upfront amount is enough to get us set up to come back safely. And I'll look at the captain and I'll say, you would like us to come back safely?
Very much so.
So is it too much to ask for a little extra advance in case we do not make use of this paper? I'm gonna hold it to Daisha. I'm like, can you do something with this paper, brother?
He can't even read.
Yeah.
Daisha looks really confused looking at this thing. He
With
gets it
gold-
even less than Con.
With gold, yeah, I don't get it at all, and you don't get it at all either. I'm gonna say, would gold be better, brother? Would both not be the best? I'd feel very good if we had both, I'll say to the captain.
I'm nodding.
I do not know, and again, I'll say, I do not know if I can make use of this paper, and I'll put it back on the table, kind of sliding it towards him.
Well, all right. I can offer you some gold. However, at the moment, I can't offer you as much as this. This would theoretically be worth. But if that's what you choose, then I can do that for you.
I understand. And I'll slip the paper now over to Cephalus since he seems to want it, I guess, this paper. And say, what about 200 gold? 300 might be too steep.
Yes, I think we can arrange for 200.
Say 50 gold
in-
each would set us up nicely to be able to mix some potions or put some gear together.
Mm-hmm.
Increase our survivability to come back with the information you need. Secure your investment.
Very good.
And I'll kind of get up and stand over near Daishu to let Zephylos do the rest of the talking, as he feels like the payment's adequate for what he's being asked to do at this point.
To be clear, you gave him back the voucher?
I slid it over to Zephylos because I said Zephylos might be able to
I
make
see
it.
the miscommunication, and I say, Con, they're not giving us the voucher and money.
This is what he said.
No. This is what you said.
Not what he said.
Yes. So, no, Con. It's the voucher or a lesser pay in liquid gold.
But you can see the cogs are moving in Con's head.
What is liquid gold?
Oh, you're just making it worse. Liquid gold.
I do not understand the value of this paper, I guess, brother.
All right.
The gold I understand. I am okay with the gold. I do not know if this paper benefits us.
Let me explain to you something.
Yes.
This paper
notepad is out.
Is the promise of an item made of runite. Now, I don't think you've ever held runite, is correct?
I do not know what a runite is.
Well, it's a type of metal, and I've never held it either, because runite belongs on two things. Dragon-slaying greatswords, and the necklaces of people who are rich enough to buy Varrock 3 times over. So, it's an extremely valuable resource. The legends say that runite is strong enough to cut through the hide of any demon. It's strong enough to pierce right through an anvil. It is the best quality of metal man of modern day knows.
And I'll just be looking at the guard the whole time he's saying that.
So if you want a weapon that can stab something really good, this voucher is a reward. Or
I'm gonna look right over to Daisha. I'm like, we should melt down this weapon.
Or if, like, I know it says on here, Captain, that we're entitled to a weapon, but would it be absurd to ask for the smith to give us a shield, if we so wished?
Or the raw materials to make our own shield. I'll say with a lit up face.
We can arrange for that. Yes, we can.
This voucher is compensating for the hours put into making the item as well, I imagine, right? The price?
Well, yes, it would be all that you need in order to make the purchase from.
Would the kingdom be good for the same amount, but just in raw materials, saving the worker the time, and he can sell that beautiful product for gold instead?
I suppose.
Would you be able to write up a piece of parchment just stating the value of this other one in raw materials is also...
Would you not rather purchase the completed product?
I think I can take the materials for one thing and half the price, and I look over at Daisha and say, I trust our blacksmith a little more than anything you might have in-house. No offense.
If that's what you want.
I am sure these runite weapons are perfectly adequate for you humans, but I am not the human. And
they
I kind of point at myself.
They
obviously.
use weird weapons that are unconventional. I've seen them.
I see.
One-handed
I've found
lances.
The grips of human weapons to be cumbersome and not fitting to the form of Garaho hands that hold up my 2 fingers.
I am sure that you could work with one of our blacksmiths that is using this to get something that suits your needs. Any order like this would be custom made specifically for you.
I'll look at Daishu to kind of make the final decision on if he wants materials or if he's cool with. I think raw materials are great, but if we want raw sword.
Just so I'm clear, what Khan is asking for is instead of a weapon worth 350 gold,
I want the materials to make a runite weapon.
Rune worth 350 gold.
The same amount in materials.
Which would effectively be twice as much materials because it's not worked.
But it would cost us twice as much time to make on our own. Yeah. Making it less effective now, but potentially twice as effective in the future. That's what I'm asking, yes.
That would allow you to make 2 weapons, though.
Possibly, it would be if we survive and have enough time, yes, again.
So
I think the thing is, though, with that, they probably might
Give you
not.
less than full material. Too,
Yeah, they
which
would
is
probably
fine.
not be able to give you that much because it's.
I'm willing to negotiate it. I just think that our party might benefit from raw crafting materials right now than just one item. Daishu can make a +1 overnight. I don't. If we need a +1, we can slide into that. You know what I mean?
Overnight?
Literally.
Yeah, one of my if I give up either the bag of holding or the goggles of night vision.
Oh, with your infusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his
Right.
infusions.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So like that's just
I thought you
something
meant
like
craft it overnight. I was like,
I've never
whoa,
really
no.
needed a better weapon because, like I'm saying, anything I need, Daishu can make it for me. I'd rather give him materials that you claim these are the best materials. Well, let's put them in my perspective, the best artisan's hands for the materials. That's how I'm seeing it.
Okay, so Rovan will, sort of adjust this offer to, it would be so. The thing is theoretically worth about 350 gold. Instead, he will offer you 200 gold worth of runite. Or wait, what was he going to give you before? 200 gold?
200 gold flat, right?
Sorry, 250 gold worth of runite.
So it's not quite half.
Which is not quite 2 weapons like this.
I'll ask him.
You could make one. You could make like 1 2-handed weapon, or like about 1.5 one-handed weapons with.
We got the sword and the dagger.
So could we almost have essentially enough money or enough rune to make the base gauntlet item rune instead of whatever else, just for the sake of it?
Yeah,
Well,
I'd allow that.
My brain went to making the lance in the
lance. I got you. We'd have enough for that for sure.
Yeah, that would be
because that's a 2-handed weapon normally.
Right.
That is a 2-handed weapon.
But remember in the gauntlet we've written that it can't be used versatile, so it's technically it's a 1-handed material worth of weapon for the concept of a gauntlet. It is.
Good point. It is technically a 1-handed weapon.
It still gets its range because it's spring loaded, right? It doesn't lose the reach, but it definitely can't be used versatile.
Going by the costs here, let me see. We're doing math today, lots of math, but that's fine. So I have a 1-handed weapon, has a value of 300 +1, has a value of 350 plus the value of a lance is pretty measly. It's only 10. So it takes 180 gold worth of runite to make your lance.
Okay, so we'll have about what, 70?
So you'll have
60 gold.
70 gold's worth of runite.
Yeah, we're bad at math today, dude. I'm just saying, like,
which is about half as much as you need for another 1-handed weapon.
Okay, so we're on an okay kickstart then to get something else then.
All right.
I'm okay with this deal. I'll look at the tribe and I'll say, what do we think?
Daishu's grinning ear to ear.
Yeah, he just wants materials. I know you do, buddy.
I'm gonna write it down before I forget.
I've advocated. I'm satisfied. And perhaps with the leftovers, we can start saving to make me a fancy runite dagger.
Ooh.
Perhaps.
Definitely. Because I guess only the lance needs to be a strong material as long as the gauntlets themselves are strong enough to not be destroyed by like heat metal or some shit, you know?
Makes sense.
Out of curiosity, this would be out of character because Daishu.
I just gave you a bad idea for the gauntlets, didn't I, by saying that? Fuck, you're gonna give us an enemy that has heat metal when I have gauntlets on. I just thought of that.
No.
Are you
Totally
suddenly you have to unequip your weapon and shield at the same time.
Are you using the lore for runite that they came up with the mining and smithing rework?
What's that lore?
Is it the one where like it vibrates or it has like a force field?
So
what is this?
With the mining and smithing
what is this crap?
The mining and smithing rework, they came up with lore.
I'm sorry, I haven't heard of the mining and smithing rework. Have you heard of the mining and smithing rework?
They came up with lore with like basically all of the metal that's like rune and up.
Okay.
I don't know how much of it actually is considered canon.
Okay.
But I remember for rune specifically, the metal itself is rather weak and bendable, kind of like gold. It's not very strong. But when it gets when it's impacted with like when something is going to impact it very very hard, it acts kind of like did you in school, did you ever make that liquid that when you hit it hardens?
Yeah, it hardens.
Yeah.
Rune is infused with magic, and so when it gets hit by something hard, it hardens up with almost like a magical force
It
field.
absorbs the energy to harden,
which is why it's so hard to hurt.
It's like a kinetic material. It transfers that energy into itself, pretty much, or whatever.
And in addition to being rare to find, it's very difficult to smith because regular hammers and heat aren't effective because
it just harden itself.
It just destroys your hammer.
This lore kind of sucks.
So what I'm hearing is we use the leftover rune to get you to make tools out of rune so you can craft rune.
This
sucks.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's so weird.
I like the book lore better, where it's just really fucking.
Read the books.
Oh, I read the books. Let me tell you,
I need to do that still.
They're okay.
They're okay.
But in the book, she only had adamant.
No, she had adamant, and it fucking melted werewolf.
Yeah, and it goes through steel like butter.
Yeah, Rune, she worked with the necklace, right? That's why I kind of threw in as a little bit tidbit there, talking about necklaces of Rune.
Big brain.
And she had to drink Tears of Guthix to work with it because it's so complicated on like a molecular level that it. I guess maybe this is where they took it from. It breaks laws of physics. Like it's just really hard to work. That like dwarves spend hundreds of years mastering their smithing, finally understand. And so it was weird for her as a human to do it, and that's why she needed the Tears of Guthix to like give her that experience.
But wouldn't that have meant that smithing was her lowest skill?
Yeah, Karamir fucking sucks at smithing.
Yeah, what the heck? She's got like level 6 smithing.
No. She clearly had like level 79 smithing, and then had to level up with the Tears of Guthix to do rune.
Stat boost.
Right?
85?
Well, it depends on if
was
you're doing pre or post mining and smithing update.
Well, this is back from like 2000 and like 13. So
see, now we have all this. Oh, it's like magic and crazy, but it's only like level 50 smithing to make it. It's like really.
Well, to be fair, again, level 75 is the sword of God. So
true.
And
true.
the other armor is nuts too.
Yeah, it's also
like Elder Rune
explicitly magical, very much so.
Yeah, like the lore.
Yeah,
for
what's the Necronium lore? Hit me with it.
It can only be found in Mauritania. Because Necronium ore is basically steel, and an amount like when there was all the wars in Mauritania and all those dead bodies fell in those battlefields, and then they got crushed into the ground, and there's a bunch of magic and weapons all getting amalgamated into this big, huge mash, and it over the centuries became
the residual magic affects the raw ore in the ground.
That's just coal.
So
that's literal fossil
I think you're talking
fuel.
about crude oil.
That's literally oil.
But it's infused with the magic from the warriors and the souls of the dead.
Oil.
Well, they're magical weapons and like wizards from the God Wars. Like it's all magical.
Weird.
Like if dinosaurs were made of magic, then crude oil would be the same thing.
This
right?
lore is very weird.
And then also throw in some souls of the dead for good measure.
Oh, and some souls of the dead, of course.
Cool.
Anyhow, I'm not sure whether or not that's going to be part of our Runite lore. I'll have to think about that. I'm leaning towards maybe not.
That's fair. I just figured it would be worth asking.
I'd never heard about any of that crap, though. That's crazy.
I followed I was on all the Google Docs for all the mining and smithing update shit before the beta came out, so I was,
I did spend, like, a while. I think I, like, made, like, the masterwork armor in the beta or something, like, just for funsies. But I didn't read all the lore. I didn't even know there was a bunch of lore.
I made Masterwork armor on day of release on my main.
Nice.
Made 180 mil off the chest, 200 mil off the legs, 70 mil off the boots, and like another 50 off the helmet and gloves. The set I made, it was fucking whack.
Oh.
My buddy literally came over to my house the morning of release, set up his rig, and we were doing mining and smithing update day of. And he was making a mil a bar on the Dracolith tier. It was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Wow.
It was so dumb, dude.
Yikes.
I dumped 3 bill into a day of, and I pretty much almost doubled my money in 24 hours. It was whack.
Whack. Wait, it took you 24 hours to make 3 mil?
No, to make almost 3. I made 2.4 bill almost.
Oh my God. Oh, Bill. Okay.
But it took me 4 hours to even get to the point to make the masterwork, because you have to do the Ethereum quest. Remember, you have to make the
Oh yeah, you have to.
Elder Rune.
You
And
have
that
to,
was
Mhm.
pure loss. Like that Elder Rune, for some reason, day up sold for fucking nothing because everyone was making it to get to masterwork.
True.
So I lost
it's a
everything on that.
Pain
And
in the butt.
it was
to
like a
make that
mil a
stuff.
bar to make on day up too. So I think I spent about 300, 400 mil just making Elder
Oh
Rune.
my God.
And then I could make masterwork. And by that time, I had a couple of my buddies who were mining and smithing, and I was buying their bars for over what they were selling them in the G, just so I had an influx of them to not cap me out on the thing. We had a system. It was nice.
Crazy.
It was whack.
Anyhow.
But it was, that's big updates in RuneScape for you, dude.
Big.
If you got the money, you just make money. Like archaeology, everyone makes
Rich
bank
get
doing
richer.
archaeology. I'm not even. There's guys making trillions that day. You know what I mean? I was just a small piece of the puzzle. I was happy with what I took.
Let's see. Anyhow, are we in agreement here then with Captain Rovin?
I think I'm happy with that. Deishu and Zephylos are.
Yeah.
Make it so.
Okay. He spends a few minutes writing a new voucher for you, for 250 gold worth of runite. And then he hands it off to you. Well, here you go. I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you will be able to prepare as best you can in order to get back safely. I really do hope that I can see you again soon. Is there anything else I can help you with?
How do you feel about Zamorak?
About Zamorak?
Yeah.
Well, his followers have been rather cumbersome in years of late.
But how do you feel about them, Rovin? Or was his name Rowan?
Rovin, yeah. Well, I obviously I don't like him.
Then I
I'm
hope
a
to see you
worshipper of
soon
Sardome.
too. I'll say.
Oh, very good. I think you might find, if you are one of deep hatred for that horrible god, you might find perhaps some motivation in exploring Mauritania, because it is filled with his worshippers.
Eyebrows.
Say that again.
Eyebrows fly through the roof.
Yeah, say that last bit again. Sorry.
Did you not know? It's ruled over by vampires, Mauritania, which worship Zamorak. Many of the other inhabitants of the area do as well.
And these vampire, from my understanding, this is a very new thing in the world. Yes. Not new in the sense. This is like them coming back is new. Is what I'm saying. It's a new occurrence of them appearing like this. The incident in Draenor seemed isolated. Nobody really. I remember we were having conversation of what a
that is
vampire
true.
even was.
Yes, that's true.
If they were being experienced in Varrock, I'm sure Zephylos would have heard of that in his studies before joining the party. That vampires were roaming around doing something.
Their
It's true.
presence in Misthalin is indeed
Has been known, right? But nobody's going out to Misthalin to investigate them. So what we know is like really what we know here outside of Misthalin, outside the River Selv. Is that correct?
You mean Mauritania?
Or
I'm
not
sorry,
yet.
I'm confused.
Our knowledge of vampires right now, and by what I'm saying our, I'm talking like Zephylos is a person of this world. He studies all the things that are being studied by the greatest minds of this world. You know, he's the wizard, right? If there were people that were studying vampires, there would be adamant research done on them that Zephylos, from what I understood, they were like a myth to him, Zephylos, when we first talked about them, no? They were something he knew of. They could be. It sounds like it could be a vampire. He was saying, and like, what is a vampire? It's like it's a thing that we read about. It's a myth, you know. Like, but if it's real,
yeah. So like, it probably would be not quite like myth, but like a lot of people might think that it was.
Because that's
just
an important context.
Like just kind of just on the border between like known fact and thought to be like maybe a legend.
Fringe concept.
It's like Putin riding bears.
I mean, fair.
Did he actually do that? Maybe.
We don't know.
The internet's
unclear.
He is very wide.
You know? I mean, you guys know now that it is in fact.
So, but from my understanding, from what Khan's understood, is vampires in this part of the world, outside of Mauritania, outside of south of the River South, vampires just they don't do this. This is a new thing.
Correct.
But what they're starting to do, what we're seeing now twice.
Correct.
In a couple
this
of
is
here,
very
uncommon.
Their presence in this kingdom at all in any form is very novel.
When Khan's negotiating with these people, he's fully aware that that is a preface in the world. This is a strange new type of magic return, somehow being in the south part of the River South. That's not common.
Yes.
So when he's sitting here haggling and arguing, like he's essentially every time they're doing this, I'm explaining for Khan here just because like I feel like he gets a little bit of slack for it. But even if it's RP reason, I do want to preface it here what's going on. He's being essentially asked to go to an unknown space and an unknown planet with the only thing that he knows, Daishu, who he's sworn to protect. And Daishu's literally, he's come to accept that Daishu he knows that Khan's a higher rank and he's fallen under him, and like he's reserved in this new world, and like he takes my judgment as a warrior and I take his judgment as an artisan of making things and anything in that regard. Like we both have each other's respect, but like I'm not trying to send him to his death for what essentially is a couple hundred gold, which is a ton, but like I don't have any. I just bought 250. My life is worth $250 or 250 gold worth of materials to make something that hopefully can save the tribe's life, is what I'm hoping, right? Like one item or maybe two items that I know Daishu can make it. Like I have every confidence in Daishu. I don't know what he can do, but I guarantee you, if I asked him, he could make me something, and I would lose no esteem in him through like I'm just saying, like you're asking a lot from Khan to ask this of his tribe for this amount of gold, and like it may seem like a fair amount, but it's never going to seem fair to Khan. Right. So he's gonna always just be prepared for it, Dean. He's gonna always, if you need to from a meta standpoint compensate the initial offer so that you're not overloading us with gold. He's gonna argue the price every time, and then he's gonna make sure the tribe's okay with it. We're all okay with it. We're being asked to go somewhere no one's researched. There's no book that Zephylos can study in his downtime right now, really, that tells us more than what he probably already knows about vampires.
Not likely.
We're the ones writing the book. He's gonna come back and probably write the fucking book. Hey, background for you, Zephylos. Cool. Anyways, that's rant over, 5-minute rant, but that's Khan, he's always going to negotiate. He's you're asking so much for him. He's jeopardizing his tribe. He wants to feel good, or he's not going to do it. And then there's no story, I'll just retire this character and play a reckless barbarian completely. I'm cool with that. I'm just telling you how Khan is. I'm not going to change how Khan is.
That's
unless something dramatic happens, like Daishu speaks up and it's like, brother, enough. And I'm like, whoa. but I don't see Daishu doing that. Like Daishu would want the leader of his tribe fighting for everything he could for the tribe. Like I think Daishu got the most out of this because he gets to fuck with some cool stuff now. Yeah. And I don't even need a +1. Like if we want to make the +1 dagger for Zephylos, he uses that shit more than I just ram shit and hit things with my shield. I don't give a fuck. Like, but now we have extra shit. Anyways, where are we going?
Cool. I think we are wrapped up with the meeting there. At which point, you'll kind of be sent back off into the city, and then you are pretty much free to do whatever you want or leave whenever you want, really.
Yeah, I'm cool with this just being a downtime session. Like,
yeah, this presents us with, I guess, another opportunity to use more downtime, which means if you guys wanted to, you could literally just sit here and finish all of this crafting and then leave.
So in reality, is anyone's life in jeopardy? Like that? Are we being tasked? Are we on a task right now to save anyone's life? No, right? We have to investigate that. This is something that now needs to be done, right? I'm cool with spending a couple more days here. We know our job. We can talk about exactly what our best plan of action for it is, and then we can go do
it. Let me start with Zephylos, if he has anything that he wants to do.
So I have some...
because he'll probably have a shorter list, maybe.
I actually have some unconventional downtime I'd like to propose.
Okay.
So, in Xanathar's Guide to Every... there is a list of downtime actions of possible things you can do.
Yep.
One of them, which catches my eye...
Gambling.
Not gambling. Gambling is cool as fuck. A lot of these are actually really cool.
They are.
I used to have, at the end of every session, when I ran a game, I used to have all my players do one of these downtime actions, if possible. No, I would like to do some... Well... No, I don't think I can do that one. So, how about some research?
Fighting. Research. Okay, let me read the research thing.
Right. In fact, if you want, I can read it out loud for the class.
Hang on. I gotta pull it up here. Let me have a quick skim through this. Delve into lore concerning a monster... Oh.
It's actually
interesting.
It's actually a little bit of the first and the...
Monster, location, magic item, or some other particular topic. Resources. Typically, character needs to access a library or sage. Well, what do you know? There's a library here.
In the Varrock Temple, correct?
Yes. Assuming such access is available, conducting research requires 1 work week of effort and at least 50 GP spent on materials, bribes, gifts, and other expenses. How? Hey, what do you know? He probably has 50 GP. Resolution. The character declares the focus of the research a specific person, place, or thing. After 1 work week, the character makes an intelligence check with a +1 bonus per 100 GP spent beyond the initial 100. Wait, what? Shouldn't that be beyond the initial
50? A +1 bonus for every 50. I don't know what you're reading. Like, I have actual Xanathar's open. It's 50 per the initial 50.
I am maybe reading the official Xanathar's, maybe.
No, I have Xanathar's purchased on Roll20. It's
cool. Okay, I'll trust you then. Up to a max of +6, an additional character has access to a particularly well-stocked library or knowledgeable sages, gains advantage on this check. Probably I won't give you that because
it's not like a library specializing on Mord. Right?
Exactly.
So...
determine how much lore a character learns using the research outcomes table. So between 0 and 3 pieces of lore. Each piece of lore is the equivalent of 1 true statement about a person, place, or thing. Examples include knowledge of the creature's resistances, the password needed to enter a sealed dungeon level, spells commonly prepared by an order of wizards, and so on. As a DM, you are final arbiter. Okay, this is pretty self-explanatory. Complications. The greatest risk in research is uncovering false information. Not all lore is accurate or truthful, and a rival with scholarly bent might try to lead the character astray, especially the object research is known to be rival. Might plant false information, bribe sages, give bad advice, steal ketones. In addition, the character might run into other complications. Every work week spent in research brings a 10% chance of a complication. Examples given below. Okay. Yeah, what do you want to research?
So the topic that I'm researching is Mauritania.
Okay.
Specific.
Okay.
Fuck, this is why we carry him around, guys.
The geological.
The only one doing anything good here for us.
Yes.
Hold on. Before I proceed,
Uh-huh.
I want to look at my funds.
Okay, how
And
many funds do you have?
I recognize I actually just have barely enough. I have 25 gold, 3 platinum, so we're good.
Question.
We're
Oh,
good.
yeah, you have 55 gold.
Effective.
I'll
I'll
say,
use
like,
15.
he would have access
Okay.
to our gold as well. Like if he would verbalize it, we would share. But I don't know if he'd verbalize it.
Yeah, well, he'll say, like, you know, probably over the next week or so, while you're all working on your smithing, I will see if I can find any useful information about the lands we're going in. We haven't had any human contact there for, I'd suppose, centuries, but perhaps there's older scripts that can give us more contact.
Hey, good brother, you do that, and like we'll head off, assuming that's all you need.
Okay.
You know what? Zephylos is smart. He'll say,
Like, I mean, you gotta help us out, buddy. You know?
no, Zephylos is smart. So he'll say, now, unfortunately, I don't personally own any books. However, I do know that in the palace, there is a library of, I would say, legend for people in my field, that is private collection. Perhaps, if I had enough money, I could perhaps persuade the guards or the scriptorium master into allowing me to linger and loiter. It is probably, for something this valuable, I might have to spend a sizable amount of gold. I was wondering if I can perhaps borrow some.
I'm already holding out.
How much do you need?
I'm holding out a piece of paper, and I have my other hand behind my back.
I'll look at the paper.
It's gonna say, I'm good for the money. And I'm gonna say, see how kind of annoying that feels though, and I'm gonna have the bag out in the other hand.
All right.
And I'll just drop it. I'll literally drop it all because I don't think me or Daishu, minus like maybe a gold or two to survive the day, like to eat and stuff. But like we don't need money to craft. We have the materials, right?
I'd probably only save like 30.
Yeah, we'd let you dig out what you needed, and we'd take the rest back.
However, I will take the 30 gold from the party funds and 20 gold for myself. I would like to go to the bank and make a banknote for 50 gold, and then I would like to pay them with the banknote, please, GM.
Is that a thing that I want to exist in this world?
All right. Oh, I just wanted to, in the similar vein of Con,
just explain
pay
how
them
it
in a
works.
promissory note, you know, like a check.
Yeah, but also kind of giving me this is how it works, like it's a real thing, like kind of get used to it. Which is what he needs, you know. So
It's up to you if you don't want to do the slap knee, but
probably not really
I'm
gonna
cool
be a
with it.
thing.
okay.
Okay.
I will pay. So I'll take 30 from the party fund.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we already split the gold, so each of you throw me 15, and I'll pay 20.
For sure.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said, I handed you the whole bag. I'll let you fish out whatever,
Okay.
and I'll take the bag when you're done.
Okay. So,
Alright.
yeah, so, and for context, when my main subject is Mauritania, I mean more in a geological sense, so I'm interested in, like, any,
Locations.
locations
and
and, like,
information about those locations.
yeah, like, the people that live there, the culture, like, that's the overarching goal. Once I know how much lore points I have, I'll ask the one true question, you know?
Okay.
And you can tell me if you don't want to give me the answer to those, and I'll...
What do you mean by the one true question?
So each lore point you get is a true statement, right?
Yes.
Oh, are you going to provide them then?
I think it seems to me that this indicates that like we determine how many pieces of lore do you get, and then the DM just figures out what those are and tells you them. Is that not what it said? Wait, let me read this again.
Possibly. No, how...
A character... determine how much lore a character learns using the research outcomes table. Each piece of lore is equivalent to one true statement about a person, place, or thing. Examples include blah blah blah.
Okay.
As DM, you're the final arbiter concerning exactly what the character learns. You might, yeah. So it looks like it's supposed to be at the DM's discretion, which is kind of how I would want to do it anyway.
No, you're 100% correct.
But you could maybe like give like vague specifications about what you're looking for in general, which you kind of already did, was locations and key information about them.
I already have, so this is good. I'll make the roll
All
now.
right, so what is the roll that you're making? Just make sure that we have this right.
It's an intelligence check.
Okay. It's just a straight intelligence check, and you don't have a bonus because you didn't spend extra money.
Correct.
Okay.
I didn't pay to win.
You didn't buy bonds.
I didn't buy bond. Do I have any bullshit that make my check? Give me a second. Spell book.
I don't think you can use guidance on this one.
No. I don't. I'm just trying to see if I have like enhanced ability or something silly.
I don't think you would be able to use any spells on this one because it's like it takes you literally a week.
Fair enough.
Unless it's a spell that lasts a week.
I will.
Or a permanent ability.
Make the roll.
Alright, go ahead. 0.
Hey, are you guys about to see me waste 50 gold?
I mean,
there is like a 5%
waste,
chance that he wastes 50 gold.
That's fine. I'm okay with it.
Wait, what's your int mod?
He would have to explain it to us.
Oh, let's go. He got the maximum result. Let's go.
So that's 3 pieces. Three true statements.
You will learn 3 true statements about Mauritania. Let me have a look at this.
This is why we carry you around.
Things.
You're the wizard.
Let me think for a moment. I might need a minute or two.
Hey GM, devil's advocate here, or counteroffer if you want. I'm more than happy to lose the 3 lore people if you give Zephylos a map, Tania, or like a rough estimate.
A map?
A map.
So, yeah, I was actually going to talk to you guys about that today. So, I have a map here, but since the region is not well known, you don't have the whole map. And so we will kind of be doing a sort of exploration sort of thing with this map where it gets lit up as you continue traveling. So one of the things that I actually had an idea to do was to mark a couple locations on here as part of your pieces of lore.
Okay.
So, let's see. I feel like the location of a single town is kind of weak for one piece of lore, to be honest. So I might spend 1 or 2 of them on a couple of locations.
Sure.
Let's see. Let me think about this while you guys are not on this map.
Word.
Well, how about this? How about 3 of them for a couple locations and like a brief summary of what they're about, right?
As all of your lore?
Can I make kind of a meta question since Zephylos would probably not, maybe Danny's not thinking of it.
Okay.
Any information on Silver or Blister would be fucking a phenomenal jump ahead to even learn about it. We don't have the materials for any of it, but just to know that something like that would be in existence, that's a part of that culture and history,
That that
something like that useful.
That is something that I am also considering.
Yeah.
However, he did specify locations over other stuff.
Yeah,
I did.
So I'm prioritizing that first.
Yeah, I prioritize locations over monsters. Like if I said creatures, then it probably would make more sense to talk about vulnerabilities.
We have been getting our ass kicked by creatures, you know what I mean?
I haven't been. So Zephylos doesn't care about all that.
Nothing kicks Zephylos' ass like Zephylos, am I right?
Yeah, so Zephylos is fine. He can make people's blood boil, right? He doesn't care about weapon. But yeah. Okay,
I am working on highlighting some areas of the map here for a minute or two.
Yeah, take it. This is actually the first time I've actually done Xanathar as downtime, so it's actually kind of cool.
Same.
But I'll fill the void while you work on that, Zaid. So in my my Gillinor campaign that I ran, again, I had people do one Xanathar like downtime at the end of every session just for fun, right? And whenever I had them do lore, essentially every lore point they got, they could ask one question, right? And like again, I had the right to be like, no, but or I'd say, well, no, but let me spend that lore point and I'll give you a hint that kind of leads there. And it was really cool. Like for example, they were asking about like the Fist of Guthix because that's what they knew it as at the time. And I said, well, I'm not going to give you the lore on the Fist of Guthix, but here's the location of Juna, and she might know. So it was always fun doing the downtime actions, but I never got to do it as a player.
I'm here for it.
Wait, you mean the Fist of Guthix or the Tears of Guthix?
Well, both. Well, she knows about the Stone of Jas.
Gotcha.
Because she's like its next door neighbor. So she's kind of watching over both. Until like while Guthix sleeps, then it gets stolen. But yeah.
I actually had my party drink the
Zen,
tears in their campaign in the last campaign.
What?
Which is pretty cool.
It's the same chapter. That's why I thought of it, is because Danny was talking from Xanathar's downtime activities. That's why I mentioned it. You know what I'm talking about? Check your DM.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah.
Okay, I think
It
I'm
should
pretty
be
much
like 129 in Xanathar's.
Okay.
Let
Maybe
me
130. Let me look. I was reading it, and that's what made me remember it when he mentioned Xanathar's downtime. I was like, yo, because we're about to craft an item. I'd love to see something like that be for us too.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Did it not work? Hang on.
No, I only see the owl.
Oh no.
I would. Oh, now we can see.
There
So
we
I
go.
would like to say you're a generous god for even allowing the downtime action to begin with. But let's.
Why would that be generous?
Well, it's an optional thing. So very cool of you.
It's cool though. Okay, so here is what you learned from your research in a week at the library at the palace. You learn of a couple of locations, but I guess before you learned that this area is not. Why can we not see them anymore again?
You have to move it slightly to the right, because as soon as you moved it back, it didn't work.
I think there might be like a wall or something.
Yeah, see, there are walls, but I didn't think they would behave that way. I was using them for something that's complicated. Hang on. Let me try this.
There we go.
Okay.
Aha!
Yeah, okay. I just had to get rid of the walls. I used them to get these nice clean lines on the left at first. The walls. Anyway. So, here's what you know. You know that this area is not mapped very well, if at all. Because not a lot of people go here that end up in Misthalin ever. So, you managed to uncover some information about a couple of key locations. Some of them more obscure than others, it seems. The first one that you learn of is a small village called Canifis. And it is located right here, not too far from the Salve, kind of close to Potterdelmus. And a thing that you were able to uncover in your research here is that it is inhabited by werewolves. So that's cool. Another location that you learn of is called Darkmire. And you know that this place is the the main home of the vampires. It's where most of the vampires are from or currently live, ? And you also understand that it is fairly large. It could even be comparable to the size of Varrock or Lumbridge. Pretty big. The final location that you see is not even a town, really. It's it's more of a historical site. It is referred to simply in the text that you uncovered it from as the Barrows. You understand this to be the site of some ancient battle before the after the God Wars. After the God Wars, there was a battle here between some humans and a bunch of evil things that aren't really specified which evil things they were. And there was some horrible tragedy where like all of the humans that were, by the way, Sardominist, died. And this is a site where some of them were buried, as your understanding of this place. You're not entirely sure why it is described in this book, but it's there.
Okay.
I think that is the extent of the lore that you have discovered.
Question.
Yes. You can prod me with other small questions, maybe.
Yeah.
And I will decide whether you are worthy of the answers.
So, super small question.
Yes.
To do with my invasive Majorat memories. Can I don't know, like roll a history to associate Canifis with Ariel, I believe it's called?
With who?
So Canifis used to be a Zerosian city.
Karil? Is that
Karl.
what it's called?
Yeah.
With a K and an H and a bunch of L's.
And a Y in there somewhere. Yeah,
and
yeah.
A Y.
I know all the letters, I don't know the order.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's like it's like that, I think.
Carl.
Maybe. Some Carl. Yeah, make a history check.
Because that'll make this extra.
Make a history check. No, it's I'm gonna say that's a no, just barely a no.
Okay, no problem. I thank you for the.
Have you ever had a dream that you could.
All right, I guess they're done, so we could talk soon. Anyways, yeah, I don't see it in there. While they were doing that, I was reading, trying to figure it out. But I think that's where I ended up looking it up. I think it was a Reddit post. But anyways, the quirk idea, I love that. So I want to put that into whatever we're making. So figure out, maybe talk with the DM to get a list of like Daishu quirks.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you make an item, maybe he can choose what quirk appears in the item because you crafted it, a little piece of you in it.
Yeah, let's transition over to what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pretty much work together on this.
Mm-hmm. The gauntlet thing, and you said you were using the rune on the lance part, right?
That's what he wanted to make first, yeah. So
cool. So that is indeed going to increase the value of the thing, which means it's going to take a bit longer to make.
That's fine.
And we will say that where's my handy dandy Excel sheet?
Probably where you left it last.
Yeah, it probably is. So it's a one-handed weapon, so that's going to increase the value of your gauntlet funny lance combo thing by 350, which is the same as what you would pay plus the cost of the lance to buy a rune lance, or a one-handed rune lance. Okay, so let me go back to your notes. Where is it? Gauntlets in progress. So what did we say? The value was 200. That was like the base value with the bonus action shield thing.
Yeah.
And we're adding now 350 for the rune lance part of it. Okay. So I'm forgetting all of the numbers now. It's 1 work week per 50 of the value. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the value went from 200 to now 550. Oh boy. So
That's 11 weeks.
11 work weeks. Let's go. Times
440 hours.
5 days times 8 hours a day is 440 hours of work required. Increase that number.
You can get a good jump start on that.
And I'm gonna say I'm gonna keep the work required at the forge as 25%.
Okay.
So that's 110 hours required at the forge.
How much? What's the currency you get for using the artisan workshop? Ah, shoot. Renown, respect. That's it. How much respect do we get in the 40 hours, DM?
You ain't getting no respect.
Enough for one smithing piece. Does he get increased smithing XP?
Yes.
1%.
But see, the problem is we're not
400
doing this
hours is a lot, dude.
We're not doing this in Falador, though. We're doing this in Varrock.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's no
There is no respect here.
There's no respect here.
no smithing artisan's workshop here. Okay, so
If we ever craft in Faldor, I'm going to make a comment
if
on
you
how
wanted
it
to
feels
do
more respectful.
just the forge stuff, the two of you would have to spend about 1.5 work weeks.
I don't know
that's
how long we'd want to
7.
spend here.
That's actually it'd be 7 days of 8 hours of work, but amongst the two of you.
Oh, 7 days.
To do just the forging part. That's the first 110 hours.
Oh.
I guess I have to subtract the 40.
The 40
that
we
you
already did,
the-
so,
oh,
that's, so
crap.
we only need
Oh my God.
we only need to do
There's-
50
There's
hours.
so much math.
We have to do a combined 50 hours of work, which
And we
since
can
there's
do
two of
that's
us doing
6
it, that's
days.
Wait,
25 hours,
You
total
did
of 25 hours.
wait.
Yeah.
You did 40 hours so far?
That's 6 days of work, right? So
'Cause-
3 days for both of us.
Because you said it increased with Con helping, it increased it by 100%.
Yeah, because I can do like the forge. He
Fine.
does all the
Hang on,
making,
hang
and
on.
I just hand
Hang
make
on.
it. Scalpel.
Hang
Heat the forge.
So you need to do 110 hours at the forge.
Yeah.
You did 40 already. That's 70.
So we have
now.
70 left.
You have 70
35
left.
each.
So that's 35
8
for
hours
each
a
of you,
day,
which is
4.5 days.
4.5 days, and
Each.
you'll finish the forging part.
How long does Danny's thing take? 3 days? 4 days? you
5
said?
days.
So
It's one
we're
work
right
week,
on the
5 days.
money. We're right
Yeah.
on. We're gonna finish up right when he is.
Okay,
Perfect.
cool. So
like his
5 days you'll be at that 110 mark.
Wonderful. And what does that give us? The lance by itself?
I guess that would be the lance by itself, and
Not that I could use it as a weapon because it's a piece that he's putting
right,
into something
you
else.
can't
Yeah.
use it yet because it has to be added to the.
Right, I
bonus.
understand that for
So
sure.
it's got you all of the metal parts have been
I have a nice rune lance
formed.
here. For
So
the
you've
thing.
got most of
That's
a
tight,
mostly
dude.
completed retractable lance, and then all the other metal bits that you need, but they haven't been assembled and artificed and whatever.
It's made of runite.
The lances.
That's tight, dude. I'll be pretty proud of Daishu when he's done it at the end of the week.
Cool. Did you guys want to stay for longer than the 1 week? Or did you
After
want to move on?
I mean, I'll do the 1 week because we got 5 days where we're all working hard, and then 2 days to relax and get ready for heading out. Figure out a battle plan in the weekend. We could
Okay.
roleplay the weekend if we wanted, like figure out what our plan is and call it a session, and then start the next session.
Okay. We can RP that now. You all gather back together at the inn. Yeah, the dwarves, yes. And are meeting to discuss your final logistical plans before setting off into Mauritania. Go.
So, I imagine, like, at the end of the week, we're staying at the same inn, right? Like,
Yeah, you've been at the Blue Moon this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, another 5 days worth of inn expenses is 2.5 gold.
I'd pay the housing, but would I? How far does my haunted one extend? They're just gonna pay for me because they know while I'm here.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, how long is that gonna extend before they're like, all right, you need to start paying?
Probably after like 3 days, they would be like, okay, you gotta pay us money now.
I would probably start paying on the third day. I wouldn't overextend it. I would know how much I can get away with, and I wouldn't push it.
So you'll skip the first 2 days that we did the downtime before talking to Rovan, and you have to pay for 4 days.
Cool. What's the cost on that? Yeah.
It's 5 silver a day.
To live here?
Yep.
And to live this lavish lifestyle?
This, what is
Modest
it called?
lifestyle?
Modest is what it is explicitly called.
I've never slept in a bed before.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is very lavish.
This is fucking great.
I'm still not certain. True. Yeah, they have running water inside, brother. What is this?
Even the greatest Stormbringers did not do this.
Yeah, even the Stormbringers that I'm from could not do this. This is like, fancy.
And then meanwhile, Zephylos is there, sitting on his bed, and he's like, I've seen that.
It's like a budget inn. He's like, man, how many more days must we stay here?
He's over here looking at like freaking Motel 6.
Yeah, it's like
we're like, is this not the Hilton Suite?
It's like we think this is a we're at the Ritz Carlton, and he's like, this is a red roof. Literally, look at they're all red roofs.
Wait a minute, look at the red roofs.
This ain't the suite. This is sour. No.
Oh boy.
Oof. All right.
What
were we doing?
Making bad jokes. What about you, DM?
I don't even know. I'm just doing math. It's fun math, though.
This isn't role playing. This is math with rules.
That's role playing, my friend.
Math always has rules.
Math will prevail. Oh, that's where we chant "Math will prevail." Sorry, I didn't know if you guys knew. Math will prevail. Okay,
this isn't a game. This is just a big word problem.
See, D&D was really fun until you started making me learn how to read. Anyways, I'll let you decide the quirk, but I would like whatever each of my gauntlets to have a different quirk. Even would be cool. But
oh wait, what was this? You guys were talking about quirks.
So I remember reading something. It must have been a Reddit post that took me to something like what he linked me here. This fruit. What is it? The flute link here. Flute loot link here for item creation. Oops. It's just I don't know. It's a 5e item thing he's linked me. But yeah, it was pretty much the excerpt from that.
So I think what they're talking about is at the beginning of the DMG, at the part where like it talks about magic items. Mm-hmm. It talks about how some magic items can have small, like essentially cosmetic.
Oh yeah, I think
tweaks to them. Like for example, if a fiend made a sword, maybe it's always warm to the touch, and it's like made of black metal, kind of thing, right?
Daishu's making it, so I want it to be like nervous in public situations. Like, you know what I mean? Like I want it to have
the sword is nervous.
Like my gauntlets, I can't use them as confidently. Like I realize or something. I don't know, some fun quirk. Not that I said it, but like something that is like, this is Daishu's creation. I can tell.
When you wear these, you get -3 to your charisma.
Yeah, don't do that to me.
No. As a paladin, though.
I know.
Don't do that. No, just flavor stuff, like from like his character and his personality. Like some little quirky part of it comes out in his creations. Like kind of like how you can always tell a painter's work because of the style they use. Like same with the item creation. Like I would always know a Daishu over some other magical item because I've been using Daishu's magical items forever. So they all have their own little quirk, but now he's made something for me. I want it to have like a permanent quirk,
I think something that would make sense for Daishu is because he is very small in social settings and quiet and reserved. It would make sense for the things that he makes to be the opposite of that. So the things that he makes are visually loud and attention grabbing.
Wait, there's actually. Oh, sorry, continue.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say on that note, I think actually one of the quirks in the DMG is whenever you swing the weapon, there's a loud clang, whoosh.
Sword. Sword.
I'm thinking more visually. Like it's bigger and bulkier and has a like unique outline to it that is very eye catching. When you see them, versus where he is trying to blend in with the crowd.
Defective weaponry. This guy's
Yet
videos
another-
are always so good.
Yeah.
Yet another
Pro
perfect
ZD.
Pro ZD video for this situation.
Sword.
Sword. Sword. Or sword.
Yeah, like that's like something quirky, like harmless sensory that like something that I'm easily charismatic enough to talk out of. You know, nothing that messes us up. You know, but fun like that, like sword. You have a sword that says sword. Yeah, it's really strong though. Don't judge it.
Aside from that, I don't like. Maybe also some like it's very obviously magical as well. Like it is absolutely does not look like a pair of mundane gauntlets. It's very clearly.
Yeah, I'm hoping they look like Vi gauntlets.
Yeah.
In a like glowy, shiny, sparkly sort of way, or in like they're like shaped like very extravagantly in a way that a normal gauntlet wouldn't be.
Let me see if I can find that picture that I sent Shab real quick. That.
So, did you guys just make the stake driver gauntlet from Bloodborne? Is that what this is?
You're talking about this right here?
It's the Doomfist gauntlet.
That?
What is that?
No. Like, okay, same
Yeah,
concept.
the animation's like kind of broken.
But
yeah,
hold
the
on, let me look
animation's
up.
kind of buggy.
Bloodborne. Like, this is a weapon in the game. Stake driver.
You see it, Zind? Is he talking about that one?
So there's this image of
Oh.
an artist rendition of what mage armor might look like.
Uh-huh.
And I'm kind of thinking it has something kind of similar vibe on these gauntlets.
So it's like glowy and translucent.
A little bit, but it's like a mixture between Vi's gauntlets from Arcane, the GIF that I posted originally. These very mechanical, big, beefy gauntlets, but there's also a pretty heavy mixture of like this arcane force around it almost.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's all I think when I see that. Damn.
But
it just looks like a speeder, dude.
the GIF that Shab shared, the messed up one, is basically how the lance portion works.
Yeah,
anyway.
it works. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a telescoping sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Wait, no, you're freaking Omnimon from Digimon. I get it now.
That one's lost on me.
Okay, clearly you didn't have a fucking childhood, Dragon's Aid. Omnimon, Sword.
I wasn't allowed to watch TV.
Here, I have a gift.
Literally, if you put Omnivon in the GIF search, it's just things about coronavirus Omicron or something.
Ooh,
what is that?
That is awesome.
Ooh, it
Yeah, the place
comes
is
out of his
awesome.
hand.
Yeah.
Cool.
I dig it.
Neato. What were we doing?
Your magic item crafting, but possibly in a quirky way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I like. That would be my ideal thing. I don't know if you want like Shab shared some a quirk table with me. I could roll on there. We could pick something, or we could come up with something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm cool with RNG determining it.
Do you want me to RNG something for this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well,
I don't.
Do you want something like? Would it be cool if something off that list came off? Because I can just roll a d10.
Let me see. Let me
Like,
read
is there
these.
anything that you don't want? It's all cosmetic stuff. It's not like
The item makes an odd noise.
sword.
Yeah, and then that could be like a sword, right? It would be definitive off of like Daishu.
Let
as a
me
character.
do like. Yeah, roll a d10. Well, I like these. These are funny.
As I was saying, it's fun flavor, right? Like it doesn't add or hurt anything.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. What do you get? 10?
The full list.
It
there's
leaves a
like-
trail of sparkles.
Oh, that's awesome.
Amazing.
I like the loyal one. That's fucking cool.
I like the loyal one a lot too. I was hoping it would be that one.
That's the only one that kind of leans into the sort of mechanical benefit
Yeah.
there.
And Daishu's like pretty loyal to the tribe and to Khan, so it'd be fitting too, I think.
Oh my god. Daniela Dearest gave me 1 bit. Thank you.
We call that a little bitty. So are we doing the glimmering?
Yeah, we're doing that now. The
I
die
love
has
it.
been cast.
Wonderful. It's gonna every time I lance for tracks, it's gonna glitter sparkles, dude. It's gonna be tight.
Cool.
We're gonna bring some light.
Can we
and
add
cheerfulness
additional?
to Mortania.
Yeah. Can the sparkles be the color of Daishu's eyes?
Can be whatever color you want.
Daishu, what color?
Oh,
are
you
your
have to
eyes?
decide it now.
Cyan.
They're tight,
Okay.
like it looks like runite,
Yeah.
dude. It looks
It
like
looks
glittering
like the
rune.
runite.
Oh,
of
that's dude.
course.
The dice tell the story, guys. Perfect.
I was thinking earlier because like, oh, runite is like the color of my skin and my eyes almost.
True. Did you guys want to do some RP regarding plans for your upcoming journey before we wrap it up, or do you want to do out of character? Which would just be like me asking, what are your guys' rough plans?
I don't
I mean-
mind having that conversation. I'm actually.
Yeah.
This is the first time in a while where it's the end of the session and I don't have a fucking headache. So let's go.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
feeling
that's
alright
good.
too.
Congratulations.
And it's not because your sessions give me headaches. I have a bedtime.
I wasn't even thinking that until
It's
now.
definitely because your
What the
sessions give me headaches. So.
Wow.
Yikes.
Just
But
kidding.
yeah. Zephylos will share his finding. He'll kind of like have like he's made a really crappy map, like the same quality that I could probably do, where he's drawn the general landmass shape of like Mauritania, which probably isn't even that accurate.
Oh, by
Hey,
the
like-
way, are you guys able to see multiple maps that you can choose to look at?
Tab
the
in and
top?
out of. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You should be able to switch freely between the 2 regional maps as well as whatever other map that I have you guys actively on.
Yeah, how do you set that up for your party?
You it's one of the map configure. Oh, somebody died.
The scene settings.
It's in the scene settings. Yeah,
Whether or not whether it's GM only or not.
Yeah, you toggle the show in navigation permission
Also that.
in the
So
basic.
and then once it's active, you can just like you can toggle that on and let your party go between the maps. Pretty much, that's how you're doing it.
Yep.
Like once you use the map, we have access like to this one, then we have access to it like this.
But
So
you
that
have
I
to
do.
set it up in the scene settings beforehand.
Yeah.
But if I set it up in the scene settings before, can they see that in the? Oh, I guess they can't see any of the scenes, huh?
No, they can't see any of the scenes unless you specifically check the checkbox that
Yeah. It's
Zayd just put in chat.
It's defaulted to off.
So
but
you
if
only
check-
get show in navigation. So when it's up here, then as long if you toggle off navigation, we don't get to see it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, I'm gonna start doing that. That's nice.
Yeah, it's good for
That's
your
fast.
world maps.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just
Yeah,
have
the other
lights
maps.
over the cities, pretty much.
Yeah, so this is kind of complicated actually. And I was kind of frustrated for a while. So yeah, I have light sources on the little cities, and then I moved the token around to highlight this big area on the left. And when I did that, I put in walls to get these nice clean lines along the river. But yeah. Anyhow. My only issue with it is that it keeps the parts of the map that you've already been to like dim unless there's a light source on it, which is annoying.
Yeah.
But oh well, we'll deal with it.
But yeah, so I'll show them the crappy map, which the only thing with relative details, which again I don't even have cartographer tools, it's not even that good. Is like I have this little canvas area over here, it's a little tiny, poorly drawn village with like the squares with the triangles on top. And then I have a lot more squares and triangles over here in Darkmire. And then a gravestone over here, right? And I say, so the information I was able to divine was that immediately to the east of Paterdoma is a settlement known as Canifis. And what makes it interesting is that it is home to werewolves.
Werewolves?
Yeah, people who can turn into wolves.
That's just a thing they can do? I'll look
What?
at Daishu as if he's heard of that. Have you heard of these?
Daishu looks very concerned.
I have a question, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know they're like Zamorakian?
The werewolves?
Yeah.
You don't know that.
Okay.
Good. That's probably better for everyone, really.
Yeah. So
Also, I would also like to point out with this Mauritania map that the scale is much larger.
Yeah, I see that.
Each of these squares is 6 miles.
By the way. Spriggy's gotten really big, dude. What have you been
Yes.
feeding?
Got a 6-mile wingspan. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, so I say so we should be careful. I do recommend, however, we go there. It is the closest settlement to our exit point. So we can probably get our bearings and ask locals about, what we're getting ourselves into. They would know far more intimately than any book in a library could ever tell me. The only other places of note I was able to read up on is there's a graveyard of a battle that happened prior. I don't really know anything interesting about it, but it was mentioned a couple of times, so probably more to it. But just adjacent to it is Darkmire, the settlement of vampires. Or at least it was. It could be. This information is very old and dated, so I honestly don't know how much. How old was like the scripture I was reading?
Mid 4th age, probably most of the stuff was. So
Hundreds of years.
Over 1,000 years.
Yeah. So a lot of these documents.
How old was the book that we got on that the guy we killed in originally that brought us into this whole vampire mess?
That was
Actually-
like early 4th age, I think.
I mean, Khan wouldn't know. He's like, how old was that one?
Actually, I'm opening up Account Drainer's journal right now. I might even say.
It mentioned it somewhere in there.
Because I remember he said it when he was reading it to us. I took notes a little bit, but not a ton.
Yeah. So
It
I
says the
say
earlier
that
entries
fourth
are
age.
dated in the 4th age.
Does this date match with the time that you're getting your information, brother?
Yes, actually, it's roughly the same time.
So then maybe that this Count Drakkar we killed.
Draenor.
Yes, there's many vampire names. I'm very sorry. I don't think I've ever called Draenor by his actual name, even though it's like I get the village right every time, but I just don't get the vampire.
Well, here's one concern I have. The journal, now that I refamiliarize myself with it, says that he was weakened because he was distant from Mauritania, and that the land used to give him power. I have a feeling we should be extra cautious with vampires of these lands because, well, we've done pretty well so far, but they've been away from their home advantage.
We used to play a game with a small ball in my tribe, where we would go to other tribes to play this ball game. I do not know if you have this ball game, Deshu. I'll look over to him and say. But we had a thing where if you played on your own field, you just played. The gods were with you. Same thing with vampires.
I understand you're talking about gnome ball. We're on the same page.
No ball.
No, there is a ball. There is a ball involved. There is no ball. There is ball.
Okay. Fuck.
Daisho is like,
How's that headache coming?
you had friendly tribes near you?
A few. The ones we didn't fight with. We did trade, and our elders would go back and forth and share culture. We co-populated each other's tribes over the years. But some we fight, yes. We played ball with a couple, like I said. If we ever go back, I'm going to tell them how to play I Win. The kids will love it.
Where I'm from, all of the tribes are at war all time.
Yeah, and then like Khan kind of gets a reminder that his village is, he probably isn't going back home.
Didn't want to say that, but
Yeah. I mean, Daishu probably hopes for it too one day, but
he knows it's not happening.
yeah, it's a sad reality.
Yeah.
But yeah. So after giving out this information, Zephylos reiterates, says, again, I think we should see the settlement that's closest to us, and from there we can make better judgment calls. But yes, much like Gnome Ball, which is very different from No Ball, the vampires do seem to possess a home advantage. One that, based on this writing from Draenor, is quite supernatural and tangible and not just a psychological benefit.
So what you're saying is, brother, and I'm kind of like looking back at Daishu as I'm saying it, I'm going to say that we could be attacked by furniture again.
I think the furniture is a worry. I wouldn't throw it out the door.
I have to sleep somewhere. Don't want to sleep in a place where everything's going to attack me, brother.
It's okay. There might not be furniture over there.
I do not know how that is more comforting, brother, but okay.
Well, less furniture to attack you.
That is a good point, I guess. And I'll take his advice, and I'll agree that I think that's the best way, since he spent the week studying, and we were just smashing hammers. We trust your judgment, brother. Anything for the tribe.
Right, you have a plan.
Cool. Let's wrap up here.
Yeah.
We could do our 3 favorites now.
You want to go first, DM, or you want to roll it?
I'll go first this time. I never go first.
Yeah, you never go first.
Because usually I'm thinking. Okay, I really liked, there was this one particular part, this one particular little monologue that Dan did. It was when you were describing the value of rune equipment.
Yeah.
that was really cool. I really liked that little segment. You added like these little things that you kind of took some creative liberties with to describe the value of it. You really probably hammered that point in, because for a minute I understand why Khan and Daisho were hesitant to take like another like weird like piece of paper that says, hey, you can get something with this. I totally understand why they were like that, but
I
at
also
the
get
same
how it's
time,
frustrating to deal with in a party if I
but
do
at the
it too
same
much.
time, I really wanted you guys to get it instead of just like some gold, because A, it's like a better value.
Yeah.
And B, I wanted to reward you guys with like a good item. Um, so I think Zephylos kind of stepped in there and sort of fixed that situation, and with some really cool art piece. I really like that moment. And then something that you all did. I like how you guys all made some good meaningful choices with the downtime. It was really cool to use some of the Xanathar stuff, and not just the crafting stuff, but also the research thing was cool too. And it gave me a really good opportunity also to put some little hooks in, start planning some little plot hooks here and there. Especially, I'm glad that you chose like wanted to do locations, and I thought of the Barrows, because I knew that, and you guys probably already know this, but the Barrows really isn't connected to this story, but it is a cool side objective that I'm going to have ready for you guys when you reach that sort of region, and if you choose to pursue it. So I'm very glad that I had
Guffins, boys.
So I'm really glad that I had an opportunity to, in a pretty explicit way, plant the seed for a small side quest there.
That was cool, yeah.
But yeah, and then something that I did, maybe just the handling of the research. I think I did a pretty good job of getting some good and interesting and helpful info out there that will help the story out a bit and also help the characters.
Yeah, I'll go next. So something that the DM did that I enjoyed. Again, you did good management of the NPCs. You know, Khan's not necessarily an easy character to DM, and I'm not necessarily an easy player to DM, and I get that. So playing Khan, the way he is in A Strange New World, he's going to be a little more critical of everything that happens just to understand it, because while he's not very bright, he is rather curious. And you know, it's probably for Daishu mostly, because he's endlessly curious but doesn't verbalize it. And all the questions, he's like, "Brother, what about this?" And it's like, that's a good question. And like now he's making Khan start to think about stuff, and like, you know, he's gonna be a little more critical about stuff going on, like the paper, and like how does it benefit you, and like Zephylos explaining it, like that was great. You know, that was gonna be probably my highlight too, was like Zephylos did a great job of being patient with the Garajo this session again. Just kind of breaking things down and explaining things in a way. Khan's really just up front about the problem with it. Like, I do not like this. I don't, you know, like, he's like, this is not enough money. It's more money. It's like, I almost died. You don't understand this shit. It's like, okay, yeah, but like, you know, and then you roleplay the captain to be a little more accommodating to people who have already helped the kingdom, right? Like, you get kind of that you're asking a lot of them. So I like that you were able to work with Khan, and I like that Zephylos was able to explain more things to us, and he took his downtime to kind of like also do research, which isn't necessarily what Khan or Daishu would have been thought to do. We're very kind of like, if to prepare for something, we need to make something to prepare ourselves, not necessarily learn about what we're doing until we see it. So I thought that was good. And then something that I did was I like to work with day shoes. So I thought that was cool that I got the opportunity to spend my downtime literally working on the things that we're making, which is fun. You know, usually I would think that like you'd have to have proficiency in that tool set to be able to be accommodating, but I guess I can I know enough to keep a furnace lit or hand a tool after a couple hours of being in a workshop with him. I probably know the basics like that, you know, what he's doing over and over to keep the furnace warm. I can help him in that regard and save him time and make the tool or make the item faster. So I like that, you know. Xanathars is always fun to incorporate, so I like that we pretty much spent this whole session just doing Xanathar stuff.
All right, gamers. Something I did that I like. I like stuff. Gonna be a little unoriginal. I do think my best moment was really painting the picture and like establishing it as just a cut above the unwashed masses that are steel alloy.
Right, Runite is just that much better.
It's otherworldly, it's alien, and I like delving into it and really just, I don't know, breathing life into what's actually just a +1 weapon, right?
Yeah.
Something I like that other people were doing was I like that you guys want to incorporate like the quirk into your homemade magic item. Just because that's just so much more flavor, and it's such a cool little detail in the DMG that no one implements. So, bless your souls.
Yeah, I love story, dude. I love cool, like all the spells you reflavor. I just think that's so much fun. You know, like I just think all the stuff that you do as a player, like, is really neat. So it's fun having you in the campaign, and it like makes me want to do more flavor to my own stuff too, to like make the whole immersive experience of the party more dynamic for everyone, right? So.
Oh yeah.
And I just think I think that just like if a master watchmaker made a watch, or if a master sculptor made a sculpture, you'd know what that, you know what it looked like. You'd see elements of that artist in them, and I just think that idea should translate into a magical world, even more magnified, because you're putting literal magic in the item, your magic, right? So. As he artifices, I want to see how it kind of becomes him. Like the idea of a set of timid gauntlets would be like really funny and like fun, you know? Like, I don't know. I'd love that.
Yeah. And then what the GM did, I like, and we only got to see a little glimpse of it this session, but I'm really liking the idea and the prospect of like flooring. I'm going to enjoy the fog of war. Like let's go scythe through this swampland of terrible awfulness, and then let's have the joy of like rediscovering like these settlements. Like I think it'd be cool if we saw like Castle Frankenstein and then got like copyright infringed. And like I think it'd be super cool if we're walking through terrible area and then all of a sudden there's just a settlement of the spirits of the damned, right? Like this is an aspect of the campaign that I'm actually looking forward to.
Or like we like happen across like the Nature's Grotto, and how Dermo reacts to that might be cool too. Like,
yeah, there's just
screw it in that kind of odd scenario.
I'm just kind of really glad that I wasn't given the full map. I think this is just so much better.
You're given just enough to stay curious and investigate. We're gonna find so much stuff on the way to those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
assuming we don't starve to death because the gas destroyed all our food.
Yeah.
Yep. TPK next session.
I mean, good berries. We have a druid that can make good berries as long as we can,
I can't believe alive. Druids hard counter gas. Oh wait, they already do in the fucking.
They're the meta for that whole thing. Actually,
don't worry.
It makes
plans.
Sense.
You have a plan to make good berries bad berries.
They have all the gas.
They're gonna become poisonous or something. I don't know.
Or something. All right.
They'll kill you instead of heal you.
They'll kill you instead of heal you. Okay.
On a side note, I also do like the inclusion of the Barrows. Not only because I'm sure Zaid wants to flex his Barrows brother stat blocks,
But literally everything in this is my stat blocks, bro.
I know. But also, I'm a little bit biased. My character is Varrock, so I'd love to delve into possible Sliske stuff. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, that sounds
I wonder if there's something of Zerosian significance near Canopus.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, there's a fucking tower. That's pretty cool. So yes, everything's very exciting. This campaign's very exciting.
There's a whole tower full of Slayer monsters that are aligned with Zerosian. Is there not?
Actually, it's only the top floor that's Zerosian.
I mean, that's pretty much the demon.
Everything else is Zamorakians wiping their ass on everything that was Zerosian.
Wait, what's Zerosian on the top floor?
The Abyssal Demon.
Yeah.
Oh, are they technically the Zerosian team? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that's true.
they're in hiding because
they're ancient demons. They're Zerosian.
They're Chthonian demons is the term.
True.
So
You're right.
yeah. I know, but everything else, like actually the Necrael are also Chthonian. It's it's the Infernal Mages there, Zamorak. My bad.
Cool.
But yeah, that's my feedback. Very good session.
Neato.
Yeah, awesome session. Had a lot of fun.
So my 3 favorite thing that another player did was cons negotiating.
Always.
You give me anxiety, Shab.
I mean, I just don't want to die if I didn't have the best deal, you know?
It's freaking great. I need Con to be with me whenever I go to buy a car from now on.
I'm actually pretty good at that, if you can believe it.
Really? I couldn't have guessed.
I'll bring Con. Just let me know.
Favorite thing that I did was the decision that anything that I make is visually going to be the opposite of myself. Where Daisho is very reserved and tries to go mostly unnoticed. The things that he makes are intended to be eye-catching without being gaudy. And then favorite thing that the GM did was working with us on all the downtime stuff.
Yeah, it was cool. Downtime sessions are fun.
They are, and they're so rarely done.
Right.
And even when they are done, they are often okay. Let's get through this. Let's get through this so we can get to the meat, get back to the plot.
Mm-hmm. They feel like it's off the beaten path, and like we want to get back on the path. But like this was fun, and I liked it. I didn't
Honestly,
feel like we had to do anything.
I feel like this was the meat.
I mean, it was a good session. I had a good time, and we went shopping and bullshitted and.
As the
antagonizing Loven, poor guy.
As the GM, it can be easy to rush players through the stuff that, as from your perspective, may not seem like big or it's not moving the plot forward. It's I think a lot less common for GMs to give the session room to breathe and let the players move at their own pace. But yeah, so I appreciated that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's a win-win for everyone. It's just another week of content you don't really have to do anything for, and your players are happy, and you DM's probably pretty happy too.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, like Xanathar's fun. Like I think everyone had fun kind of dipping into Xanathar's tonight. So like. It was good. We didn't necessarily do anything, and we got so much ready for when we do something.
Yeah.
Good session.
Cool. I gotta get going because I gotta pick up Mrs. DM.
Yeah. Thank you for the game.
She working.
See you guys later. Yeah, she's working late tonight.
All right, see you guys.
Bye bye.
Is the stream still going?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down to stay and talk after Zoom. I got like a little bit of time.